A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
Inviting you to listen in on the Nightline. Tonight, live the incredible life of ages yet to come in a time that might be 1,000,000 years from now on X-1. Now, an incredible story of the world beyond.
Countdown for blast off. X-5, 4, 3, 2, X-1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in 1,000,000, could be years, on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, presents X-1. Tonight, The Old Die Rich by H.L. Gold. But first, hear this.
Hello, I'm Dorothy Olson, singing schoolteacher on NBC's big weekday musical show, Bandstand. But right now, I'd like to talk to you parents. I'd like to ask you a few questions as you're getting ready to send your youngsters back to school. Are you helping your child get the most out of his school? Do you make his home conditions favorable enough for him to do his homework? Do you show an interest in his schoolwork? Remember, your child's success in school and later on in life depends to a large degree on your attitude towards his schooling today. And there's another important thing. Everyone needs a good send-off in the morning, and that goes for children, too. Be sure your children have a substantial breakfast and a cheery goodbye before they head for school each day. Remember, you can't expect your child to do it all himself. Encourage him in his schooling, both in your attitude and in your actions as he goes back to school this fall.
Now, X-1, and tonight's story, The Old Die Rich.
Doc, what did she die of?
Not eating, Sergeant. Malnutrition.
Oh, look, Doc, in the top bureau drawer, she has bank books showing $32,000 in 5 different banks. She had the price of a meal.
Malnutrition induced by senile psychosis. They starve because they're less afraid of death than of digging into their savings.
I don't know, Doc. Doesn't feel right to me. Listen, Weldon, just because you can get up on a stage and play the part of some 70-year-old geezer, that doesn't qualify you as an expert on gerontology. I just don't believe it. It isn't right. I don't feel it.
Well, lucky for me, I don't have to feel these things inside of me because I'm a doctor, not an actor, nor an amateur detective. Sergeant, malnutrition induced by senile psychosis. I'll order the wicker basket from Bellevue. So long, Barrymore.
Well, he's right, Mark. We get a couple of these cases every year. Some old bat starving to death with $17,000 in old bills pinned on his union suit. Turns up all the time.
It doesn't feel right.
Well, Doc knows his business.
But he doesn't know old people. I do. I've gone to a lot of trouble to study their habits. It isn't easy to starve to death. Hunger is a pretty potent instinct.
Yeah, but, Mark, you can't argue with the facts. Were the 5 bank books $32,000?
She took good care of them. They look almost new. Let's see. April 23rd, 1907. Deposit of $150. The ink's pretty dark. Shouldn't it be faded?
Well, she probably never took it out in the light.
Anyone ever think of testing the ink?
Oh, now, Mark, this is strictly against regulations. I've got to take these books down to the squad room and sign them in.
Pretty dark ink for 1907.
Well, it's about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I could hold them over tonight, bring them down to the property clerk in the morning.
Good. I know where I can find a chemist.
Mr. Weldon, there's no doubt of it. The ink sample is typical of inks used 50 years ago. The 1970 would be about right. But according to the amount of oxidation, it's fresh enough to be only a few months old.
Well, couldn't that be the result of unusually careful handling?
Yes, Sergeant. Yes, I suppose it could. An airtight compartment, perhaps, sealed with one of the inert gases or a vacuum. But that might account for the lack of normal aging.
Lou, you can't keep inert gases in a top bureau drawer in a fourth-floor walk-up.
Yeah, well, it's probably some simple explanation.
For fresh ink half a century old? Right after that, I got a television part that kept me busy for about a month. And then Lou Pape called me up and asked me to come down to Bellevue.
Mark, is that you?
Hi, Lou. What's up?
An old guy I found wandering around down on Hester Street. He was suffering from malnutrition. He had $17,000 in cash inside the lining of his jacket.
He's alive?
No, not now he isn't. Doc's got him in the room there. But he was stumbling around when the cop on the beat picked him up.
Did he say anything?
Just before he went out completely, he did say something, maybe 3 or 4 times.
What was it?
El Greco.
You mean the artist? Anything else, Lou?
Yeah, it's nothing for me, but we found the old guy's room, and there was an ad thumbtacked over the sink. Nothing unusual.
Yeah?
Here it is.
Men and women wanted. Light work suitable for old people. No references required. Now, why would an old man with $17,000 in cash be answering an ad like that? It was an old brownstone house in the East 80s. I got in line with the rest of the applicants. My face was lined with collodion wrinkles, and I wore an antique, shiny suit and run-down shoes. It was a good makeup job. I looked more authentic than the rest of the old-timers who were waiting for the interview. I finally came up to where a woman was asking the questions.
Name?
Kernet. Louis Kernet. Kernet.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any references? Family?
No, ma'am. I haven't got any family. I had a cousin in Salt Lake City. Haven't seen him in 30 years or more. The ad said you didn't want no references.
That's right. And now, will you wait in the other room?
Yes, ma'am. Do I get the job, ma'am?
Just wait in the other room.
I shuffled into the other room and sat down to wait. I'd planned to be dozing the way an old man would, and so my eyes were closed when I heard the door close. When I opened them, I was looking into the barrel of a .38 revolver.
Are you awake now, Mr. Weldon?
Ma'am? What?
I don't think you need to carry on any more. If you need any further convincing, you're Mark Weldon, you're about 40 years old, and you played the same character on television about 6 weeks ago. You played it fairly well.
Thank you. Would you mind putting down the gun?
You've been very busy recently trying to find out why senile psychotics starve themselves to death.
You know a great deal more about me than I do about you.
I would be glad to enlighten you. My name is May Roberts. I'm the daughter of the late Dr. Anthony Roberts, the physicist who was dismissed from the Brookhaven Atomic Energy Laboratory 5 years ago.
Oh, I assume you're connected with those starvation cases, or you wouldn't have known that I was investigating them, huh?
Well, that's obvious, isn't it? I'm not afraid of professional detectives, Mr. Weldon. They deal only with facts. But I don't like amateurs. They guess too much. They don't stick to reality. Consequently, they're likely to get too close to the truth.
Unfortunately, Miss Roberts, I'm nowhere near the truth. I haven't the slightest idea how you're tied in with these starvation deaths.
Oh, I intend to show you, Mr. Weldon. I'm happy to announce that you have the job.
Oh, now, look.
All right, Mr. Weldon, right ahead of you, please. Through that door. It will take about 5 minutes for the field to build up, Mr. Weldon. Please get in the cathode area.
You mean that wire cage?
Go ahead.
All right.
Now... I wouldn't advise moving now, Mr. Weldon. The wire carries some 10,000 volts.
Well, now, look, Miss Roberts...
Mr. Weldon, you are curious, and you could turn out to be a great nuisance to me. As long as you've come this far, we might as well both benefit by it.
Benefit?
Yes. On the floor, you'll find a set of envelopes. There's a set of instructions in each. Follow them carefully.
I don't get it.
You will. Use the envelopes in the order they are arranged.
Look, what's all this about?
Mr. Weldon, I meant it when I said this could be a benefit to both of us. There's no use in my explaining. You'll find out. And don't try to escape. It can't be done. All right, now, the field generators are ready.
Now, look, Miss Roberts, this is absolutely...
Just follow instructions, Mr. Weldon.
I blinked. I was standing outside a bank on a sunny day in spring. The cars were square with flat radiators in the front. There was a trolley car passing by. And suddenly I realized that the last trolley car stopped running in Manhattan years ago. I tried to figure it out. It was New York, all right. I recognized some of the buildings. First, I figured it must have been hypnosis. And then I looked at the first of the envelopes in my pocket. I read it and walked into the bank.
Yes, sir? Mr. Golden tells me you wish to open an account.
Yes, that's right.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're very happy to have a new depositor. Very happy indeed. Of course, you realize the institution is in sound condition, very sound. You needn't worry about all those rumors in this bank. No, sir. Solid.
That's good.
Now then, name, Mark Weldon.
Mm-hmm.
You have no address in the city at present?
No.
And you're depositing $150.
That's right.
All righty. I'll just check the slip. $150, right? The date, May 15th, of course, 1931.
I went outside the bank and I stood there in the spring sunlight and let the terror soak into me. The impossibility of the entire situation was gnawing at the edges of my mind. And then suddenly, I wasn't there. It was 1934, and I found myself inside a broker's office.
As I understand it, Mr. Weldon, you're buying this stock for Dr. Anthony Roberts.
That's right.
I assume the stock will be in his name.
That's right. I'm just acting as agent. I follow instructions.
Of course. Are you sure I can't convince you that you're making a mistake?
No, these are my instructions.
Mr. Weldon, we are a reputable brokerage house, and I feel quite shaky about putting any client's money into this kind of security. Frankly, I see no future in it. It's a rare metal for which there is very little use for industrial purposes. However, if your client is adamant...
I have my instructions, sir.
Very well, then, in the name of Dr. Anthony Roberts, 100 shares of Montana uranium. Oh, well. Very unwise. Most unwise.
It went that way about 50-50. I'd deposit money in my own name in various banks at various times, and then I'd buy a stock or make a bet for May Roberts. On June 21st, 1932, I bet Jack Sharkey to take the heavyweight title away from Max Schmeling. There was Singing Wood in 1933 at Belmont Park, and Max Bear over Primo Carnera. I went on, skipping through the years like a flat stone over water, touching here and there for a few minutes to an hour at a time. It was in early October 1938, about 5 hours after I had left May Roberts' house, before I realized what she had me doing. I was making deposits and winning sure bets, just as those senile psychotics had done. The ink of their bank books was fresh because the entries in them were fresh. The ink wasn't given a chance to oxidize. At the rate I was going, I'd be back at my own time in a few hours with $15,000 compound interest in cash, to say nothing of those bets. But
Those old people had died of starvation in spite of all that cash. Well, I was hungry, so I got myself a hamburger and went out the door. When I hit the sidewalk, it happened again.
Don't touch the cage yet, Mr. Weldon. I'll have to clear the charge.
Hey, what happened to my hamburger?
What?
The hamburger. I had it here. It's gone. I'm hungry.
I'll get you something to eat, Mr. Weldon, before your next trip. You've done pretty well for yourself, haven't you?
Yes, I have. About 15,000.
You can come out now. But be careful. Don't touch the contact. The field reacts on a random factor for at least an hour after it's cut off.
Hey, I had ketchup on my sleeve. It's gone.
Mr. Weldon, I want to talk seriously with you. You've seen now part of what I'm doing.
Part?
I've been able to save things that would have been lost otherwise. I've sent people back to find precious treasures that would have been destroyed or would have disappeared.
Like an El Greco painting?
Yes. And the original score of Mozart's Magic Flute that would have been burned in 1942. And a Picasso miniature that would have been lost at sea in 52. I have them all here.
Stolen?
No. Bought with money from the year itself at a fair price. Well, Mr. Weldon, I sent you back because I've needed someone to work with me on a regular basis. Someone who's faster and more alert than the old people I've hired up until now. I assume you're interested. And that we can make our plans without my using this revolver?
Well, this one is a little hard to work out. You see, I got interested in this business because they found some old people dead of malnutrition and $30,000 or so tucked away in their pockets. They'd been gone a month or more. They had to eat during that time, didn't they? And when they came back, the food disappeared like my hamburger. It disappeared all at once. In one fast jolt, they starved to death.
No. You don't understand. They just couldn't take the field transition.
Oh, no, you can't tell me that because I know how hungry I am, and I was only gone about 12 hours. They were murdered.
Get back.
You know, they say a hungry man gets pretty desperate. He'll do almost anything. Let go. Let go. Let go. Let go. Look out. Look out, the cage, the contact. She fell into that cage and disappeared before she hit the ground. I didn't know what happened. I know she said the field worked in a random action, whatever that meant. Lou didn't believe the story I told him.
You mean there won't be any more of them? No more senile psychotics starving to death with a bankroll in their hip pocket?
No more, Lou. I was wrong. There was one more case, and perhaps it was the strangest one. A woman was found wandering in Bryant Park just before she died of acute starvation. The strange thing was, she was young, not more than 30. And the other was that she had $17,000 stuffed in her pocketbook, and a bullet wound in her arm that the medical examiner said was at least 2 months old. I guess that's what she meant by random action.
Fred Collins speaking, and I'll have another word about X-1 in a moment. As a child, Louise had been a lonely orphan until the Harvey family came along and took her into their home and into their hearts. As Louise herself says, they gave me everything, including the love I longed for. They fed me and clothed me as if I were one of their own. And I repaid them with treachery and heartache. You'll wonder if Louise will be able to repair the damage she's done to a group of splendid people as you listen tomorrow to My True Story. My True Story, with a complete drama every morning about people and their problems, is one of radio's most popular morning programs. You'll hear My True Story every weekday just before NBC Bandstand. So remember, My True Story for drama and NBC Bandstand for music and lighthearted entertainment. Together they make a wonderfully varied morning's listening every weekday on most of these NBC stations. You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, which this month features Share Alike by Daniel F. Gallier. When the experts discovered a way to enable two objects to occupy the same space at the same time, they thought they'd solved the housing problem. But on the other hand, they created an exasperating new one. Read it in Galaxy Magazine on your newsstand today. Tonight, X-1 has brought you The Old Die Rich, a story written by H.L. Gold and adapted for radio by Ernest Kenoy. Featured in our cast were Ralph Camargo as Mark Weldon, Patricia Wheel as May Roberts, Bill Zuckert as Sergeant Pape, and others in our cast were Harvey Hayes, Roger DeKoven, and Guy Rett. This is Fred Collins speaking. X-1 was directed by George Voutsas and is an NBC Radio Network production.
You'll be on the right line for exciting nighttime entertainment when you hear Nightline. Tonight, over most of these NBC stations.
Miles from the magic island of Euclidia. 300 miles between the Gregory party and the weird colony of scientists who have held them captive for so long. With Joan Gregory at the controls of the stolen Euclidean submarine, putting another 40 miles behind them every hour, it looks as if Jerry and Joan, Mrs. Gregory, and Tex Bradford have really escaped from the island. They are not to be allowed to get away without some opposition, however, as the Euclideans have been sending out directional radio beams in an attempt to locate the missing submarine. All is quiet inside the sub now, and only Jerry and Joan are to be seen in the central control section.
Are you sure we won't disturb your mother and Tex if we talk up here?
There is no danger of that, Jerry.
But you can hear our voices all over this thing.
Yes, if I had not closed the stern section off.
Closed it off? Well, I can still see Tex and Mrs. Gregory asleep back there on the bunk.
To be sure you can. There is no necessity of losing visibility merely to restrict sound.
Yeah, I know. Everything's so easy for you to do. That's another one of those soundproof doors, I suppose.
To be sure. One of the transparent steel doors. Mother and the captain may rest there in perfect comfort and silence while we continue our discussion.
What discussion?
We were speaking of plans for our amusement in Los Angeles.
Oh, it'll be easy enough to find plane to amuse you with when we get there. But I'd like to know a little more about our plans for the rest of this ocean.
The rest of this ocean, as you refer to the balance of our cruise, should prove comparatively uneventful.
Yeah, I can see that. Nothing's liable to happen to us except old G-47 and his Euclideans. And when they happen to you, it's not so funny.
If there is any method by which the Euclidean scientists are able to interfere with our journey, that method is not apparent to me at this time.
But this was too easy. You can't steal a submarine and get away with it anywhere in the world, least of all from these guys on that island.
The success of our plan depends on the element of surprise.
I guess they were surprised, all right.
Indubitably.
Huh?
Indubitably.
Oh, okay. But I'll bet they were surprised, too.
You may continue to misunderstand me, but we are obviously safe from Euclidean pursuit.
I'm not so sure. How far are we from the Magic Island?
306 miles.
And you think we're safe from those scientists?
That is my belief.
What about their 500-mile-an-hour airplanes and their 1,000-mile-an-hour rocket ships?
We are in 8 fathoms of water, Jerry.
Can't they locate us easy enough with their directional radio stuff?
Not from Euclidia. Not so long as we do not attempt to use the radio set.
Well, we won't do that. We got one message from Johnson, and we know he's waiting for us in Los Angeles. That's enough for us.
It will be quite simple for a Euclidean plane to locate us in the water at this depth.
What did I just get through telling you?
But they have no weapon which will prove effective.
Couldn't a Euclidean plane attack one of our subs in this much water?
To be sure. But these underwater craft are insulated against all Euclidean weapons, to my knowledge.
Yeah, that's right. They would be, or your boats would be shooting up each other, practicing.
Exactly.
Well, I'll bet they could cause us plenty of trouble, though.
That they could easily do. And they could compel us to submerge to such a depth that our progress would be restricted to the vanishing point.
Well, what more do you want?
What more do I want?
I mean, what more harm do they have to do to us? If they can dive this thing down to the ocean floor and make us stay there until our provisions and fuel are gone, all they've got to do is wait until we have to come up to the surface for help and grab us.
That would be sound reasoning if Euclidean submarines were not superior to your worldly ones.
I know that you've got the best boats in the world, but no matter how much you know about science, you've got to eat and sleep just the same as anybody else. And we can't live on the water forever.
Our oxygen supply is continuously refreshed from the water.
I'm talking about food. We're going to have to keep eating.
We have sufficient compressed food to last a month with care. And during that time, we could reach Los Angeles if we were compelled to progress at an almost negligible rate along the ocean floor.
And they can't reach us with anything if we go deep enough?
No one can reach us at our maximum depth.
And just how deep can we go until they keep this thing moving along a little bit?
We may operate at a speed of 4 knots at a depth of 1 1/2 nautical miles, 9,120 feet.
Golly whiskers. Won't the sides of the sub cave in from the water pressure when we get down that deep?
There is no natural water pressure on this globe sufficient to injure this submarine.
Well, if you say so, I'll have to believe it. And it looks like we're going to get home all right.
I'm sure of that, Jerry. We will arrive safely in California with the captain's formula remaining a secret from the Euclideans.
And what Tex will do to them with that formula will be plenty.
Do you know how he proposes to use it?
Well, I'm not any too sure, but I think...
One moment, Jerry. I must refuel.
Oh, give the sub one of those little pills, huh?
Yes. It will take but a few seconds to inject the fuel pellet and clear the combustion tank. You may continue your remarks, Jerry.
Huh?
Jerry, you may continue.
Continue? What?
The discussion of the captain's formula and its use.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I was watching that refueling thing, and I guess I forgot what we were talking about.
You were going to attempt to explain how the formula for the universal solvent may be used in capturing the island of Euclidia.
No, I wasn't.
But you said...
I said I wasn't any too sure how Tex intended to use it, and I'm not. Maybe he can explain it to you.
I will ask him.
Well, don't wake him up to do that.
That will not be necessary. The captain is awake.
Huh? Oh, yeah. It looks like your mother's awake, too.
Those thin metal sleeping compartments are perhaps not too comfortable for them.
I'll take a chance on going to sleep on one of them.
You will be given the opportunity the moment Mother and the captain come forward to relieve us.
You mean you're going to let Tex and Mrs. Gregory run this thing while you and I sleep?
Certainly.
But, do they know how?
I can give them all the necessary instructions in 10 seconds.
Well, I guess I can spare that much time. But I can sure use a little sleep before long.
Mother and the captain are now approaching.
I'll bet Tex bumps his head in that transparent steel door. I know it.
I will remove the transparent section panel.
Okay, Tex. You can come up here now.
What was that I bumped my head on?
A transparent steel panel. You will find no further obstructions to your passage.
It's a strange sensation to watch a man stopped by a steel wall that you can't even see.
Yeah, stranger than that when you're the fellow who gets stopped.
Joan put that section across the stern sleeping quarters so our talking wouldn't wake you up.
And we did sleep. At least I did.
Yeah, I did too, but I sort of feel a little like I've been sleeping on a rock pile.
Those flexible steel mattresses are a little strange to us.
Those will be found on all Euclidean craft.
So there won't be anything to burn if a fire tries to start, huh?
Precisely.
Well, kids, I feel a little guilty about letting you two stand watch while Pat and I slept, but if you think you can trust us to run this thing, we'll take it over.
Will that be all right, Joan?
Captain Bradford can do everything I could possibly do.
Joan can set all the automatic controls for you, and this sub navigates itself.
Would it make any difference if you opened those visibility slides for us, Joan?
None whatever.
Well, I think I'd like to have them open. Even if we can't do anything about it, I'd like to see where we're going.
It's nice and quiet riding along with them closed, though.
Yeah, I know, Jerry, but I know how Mrs. Gregory feels, too. I'm inclined to agree with her. A little good old sound will be a tonic for both of us.
Yeah, it is a little too quiet for me here, but Joan likes it this way.
I will open the slides for you, Captain. I have just refueled, and you may repeat every 40 knots.
I understand, Joe.
Tex and I will stand a 4-hour watch.
We'll stand it as long as it takes you two to get some rest. You must be all in.
Oh, I'm not tired, but I guess I could sleep a little.
We will rest 4 hours. At that time, we may expect the Euclidean location beam again.
Could we try the radio?
No, it is too dangerous.
But you said the Euclideans had nothing they could harm us with in this sub.
That is true. However, if they learn of our exact location, it will be a simple matter for them to follow our progress to Los Angeles. And there are many ways in which they might plan a most unpleasant reception for us.
Yes, you're right, Joan. I think our best chance is to get into port without being located, if that's possible.
Well, come on, Joan. Let's go back and collect some shut-eye.
Collect what?
Take 40 winks. Hit the hay. Pile in the feathers. Go on the downy. Don't you understand any of those?
I do not.
Well, I mean, let's go back and lie down and sleep.
Then you should say what you mean. You are now the one who is using large words where small ones would serve much better.
Well, never mind about that. I'll argue with you after I get some sleep. How do you shut this door?
I will close the door.
Those kids sure spend a lot of their time quarreling.
Yes, but it seems to be excellent for their morale. They also spend a lot of time getting things done.
They sure do. The nerve of Joan stealing this submarine.
I'm very proud of her, Tex.
You should be. If Joan learns our ways, she will be the most accomplished girl of her age in the country.
Do you think we'll reach home in safety?
We've got a long way to go. If Joan and Jerry can keep their heads up, we should be able to.
Joan forgot to open that slide for us. I'd like to see out into the water, Tex, and see where we're going.
Well, I know how to do that. I watched Joan close the slide. It's this one.
Oh, I like that ever so much better.
I'm not sure I do. We're a long way down the water, Pat.
But this submarine is so safe. And what a wonderful machine it is. Think of being able to look through a wall of transparent steel.
Yes, and a wall that will stand water pressure at a depth of 1.5 miles. I'd say we were pretty safe, Pat.
Well, at least we're not under G47's eyes, and he can't hear every word we say.
We can hear you, though.
Tex, was that Jerry?
Yes, but that stern section is soundproof.
Nevertheless, we can hear all you say.
How are they doing that?
Sounds like a speaker of some kind.
Sure, Tex. This is a communication system. We're hearing you through the little microphone right in front of you.
Will you two stop playing and get some rest? Your 4 hours will pass soon enough.
You are correct, Mother. We will cut off the voice channel.
Those kids sure managed to keep their spirits up.
They're a good deal younger than we are, Tex.
Well, I'm sure Jerry's a lot younger than I am, but you and Joan could pass for sisters.
Now, Tex, I have a fair idea of my appearance, and I know it isn't particularly flattering.
Your appearance is always exactly to my liking.
Oh, you're a sweet person, Tex. You spent many a year helping me search for Joan.
It's been more than worth it. Now we've found her.
Yes. She's mine at last. After 14 years, I'm actually taking her home, Tex. Home. Oh, it will be a home now, for the first time in those 14 long years.
Wait a minute, Pat. I heard something. Something strange.
Yes. And I thought I felt the submarine quiver.
You must have passed over a high reef.
No. The water's clear all around us. There isn't an obstruction in sight in any direction.
Well, I know something happened.
Oh, Tex, it's getting nearer.
And it didn't sound good to me.
Dive, Captain Bradford. Those are Euclidean magnetic bombs. Dive at once.
Well, how do I do it?
Oh, Tex.
Try it, Mother. That large lever between your knees, Captain. Pull it to you. Pull it quickly. We are being attacked from the air. Pull that lever.
The magic island of Euclidia is a weird place to discover, a difficult place to escape from, and now it seems that it's going to prove an even harder job to stay away from it. Jerry and Joan, Mrs. Gregory, and Captain Bradford stole one of the Euclidean submarines, and with Joan at the control, they raced away from the island in safety. Now they are nearly 400 miles from Euclidia, and that should be a safe enough distance from anywhere. But things move fast with G47 and his scientists. We find Captain Bradford at the controls in the central section of the submarine with Mrs. Gregory at his side. A strange sound had just reached their ears. The submarine hesitates, then is tossed about as if a heavy shell had exploded near it. And from the stern section, Joan screams at the captain to dive. The submarine is being attacked.
Diving, Tex. You must have moved the right lever.
Looks like it, but we don't seem to be going down very fast.
Jerry and Joan are rushing up here from the stern, and Joan will know what to do.
I pulled this thing just as she told me.
You're doing everything that can be done, Captain Bradford.
But we're not diving very fast.
I thought you said this thing could dive like a fish.
Under proper conditions, these submarines will dive rapidly.
Well, what's the matter, Joan? What's happening?
Euclidean magnetic bombs.
Magnetic bombs? What are they?
I will explain later. We must reach a greater depth at once.
I did everything you told me to, Joan, but we're sure going down mighty slowly.
Our danger is also increasing. Those magnetic bombs are finding our range. Let me have the controls, Captain.
Go to it, Joan.
Can I help?
Yes, remain out of my way.
Okay.
I will use the emergency jet. All of you must hold firmly to the arms of your steel chairs. The vibration may be sufficient to break the ship in half, but we must try it. Hold your stations.
really diving.
The speed must be terrific.
Feels almost like a power dive in a plane.
I think we will gain our freedom now. Its rate of descent will rapidly put us beyond reach of the magnetic bonds.
I could get seasick awfully easy.
Oh, I don't blame you, Jerry.
I guess we can stand it if Joan can.
We are nearly free from the effect of the bonds. In a few seconds, I will be able to reduce the speed.
Are we all right now?
I think there is no further danger from those magnetic depth charges. However, I will continue our descent more gradually until we reach a depth of 3,000 feet.
We've got to go down over half a mile to be sure of losing those attackers?
Yes, Captain.
They were not in a submarine, were they?
No, Mother. A Euclidean plane flying over us.
And they dropped those bombs from a plane?
Precisely.
But the explosions didn't do us any damage, except to rock the boat around a little. Why go so deep?
Those are magnetic bombs, and their action is purely magnetic. Had we remained longer at that depth, the pull of those released charges would have paralyzed this submarine completely. And naturally, that would have placed us at the absolute mercy of anyone who wanted to reach us.
But, Joan, I don't understand that at all. How could a bomb exploding in the water generate enough magnetic force to harm a 100-foot submarine?
Those bombs contain a charge of chemical which, when mixed with salt water, produces a magnetic field in the water, a field with a large radius. And the power is sufficient to render every instrument, every control on this boat useless for a considerable period of time.
Boy, that's a new one.
It certainly is, Jerry. I can imagine how it might work. But one thing that isn't clear to me, Joan. Any solution released in a body of water as large as the ocean will become diluted to the point of uselessness almost at once.
That is true, Captain, but paralyzed instruments, magnetized controls, and helpless submarines do not return to normal in an instant.
I can't think of a more terrible threat, a worse danger than a submarine without instruments, power, or controls.
Well, if they were going to capture us, well, they'd have to hang around the air dropping bombs until we got ready to surrender.
That wouldn't give these Euclideans much trouble, would it, Joan?
Not when you remember that a Euclidean plane could easily afford to cruise 100 hours over our position and still have sufficient fuel to return to Euclidia from our present position.
I'm sure it wouldn't take 100 hours or half that long for me to be ready to give up. Drifting along in 8 fathoms of water, helpless. Oh, no, Joan. I'd be ready to meet their terms long before the 100 hours was up.
Yeah, that wouldn't be so good. And if that magnetism really got hold of us, we couldn't do anything, huh, Joan?
Not a thing. The oxygen jets would be paralyzed and our air supply soon exhausted. The emergency escape locks would not operate, and we could not leave the ship. There would be only one thing to do.
Yes, I know what that would be. Surrender. I don't see how we could even do that. If we can't leave the sub or get a message out of here, how could we let our captain know we were ready to give up? How could we get to the surface to surrender?
There is one thing on board not affected by magnetism, our compressed air supply. Our only resort would be to fill the space between the inner and outer shells of the submarine with compressed air and float to the surface as the water was driven out of the stabilizing channels. Even then, we could not leave of our own will. It would be necessary for our captors to release us from without.
And now, Joan, will we be able to proceed toward home at a lower level?
To be sure, Mother. Though our progress will be comparatively slow.
Just how slow do you call comparatively?
At a depth of 3,000 feet, the highest speed we may maintain consistently will be 11 knots.
11 knots? At a depth of over half a mile?
I do not hope to exceed that.
I shouldn't think you would. Golly, whiskers. 11 knots under half a mile of water? Well, our submarines think they're doing all right if they make 11 knots any time.
I am confident we may plan on continuing at that speed.
That's very wonderful, Joan, and certainly surpasses anything we'd ever dreamed of at home. But at that speed, will we be able to reach Los Angeles on our present supply of food and fuel?
I was wondering about that.
We will have more than enough fuel and food enough for a much longer time.
Well, say, now that we're talking about food, and it looks like we might get a chance to eat a little without being shot at, how about having our dinner?
Are you hungry, Jerry?
Well, if I'm not, I'm sure mixed up in my feelings.
We should not need more food at this time.
Well, what's the matter? You're afraid these Euclidean pills will make us too fat?
We had sufficient food for a definite number of hours. It is not time for the next meal.
Never mind what the clock says. My stomach is a lot more apt to be right about my being hungry.
Yes, I'm going to add my voice to yours, Jerry. I could stand something to eat.
Well, if everyone else feels that way, I'll admit a huge appetite.
Looks like you'll just have to sit around and watch the rest of us eat, Joan.
I shall do nothing of the sort. You will open a vial labeled S4, Jerry.
S4? What's the S for?
Oh, Jerry, what a horrible pun.
Didn't you like it?
It was pretty bad, son.
A more completely descriptive adjective would be atrocious.
Okay, if you don't like my puns, I'll eat all 4 of the pills and none of you will get any fried chicken.
Do you remember where you got the last meal, Jerry?
Oh, yeah, right out of here. It sounds funny when you call a little bottle of 4 pills a meal.
They seem to satisfy us before, though, Jerry.
Jerry knows the food is satisfactory. He is merely exercising his talents for discussion.
I believe you've got his number, Joan.
Number? What is your number, Jerry?
Oh, never mind. Well, here's the little bottle labeled S4.
I'd like to ask what that label means, but I don't want to run into any friends, as Jerry did.
The letter S designates sunset, or time for the evening meal. And the figure 4 in Arabic numerals states the quantity. 4 people may be served from that vial.
S for sunset. What was the Z for on the bottle we had at lunch?
Z for zenith, as Euclideans take their noon repast when the sun is at meridian height. Roughly 12 noon.
And what will our breakfast be labeled?
The morning meal is designated as D for daylight, and the number of people following. Our breakfast will therefore be D4.
Huh. D4 for breakfast, Z4 for lunch, and S4 for dinner.
Does sound funny, Jerry, but I like what I had at lunch. Suppose you pass the steak.
How will you have your steak, Mrs. Gregory?
Just medium, Jerry. Not too well done.
Okay, 1 medium steak. You get pill number 1. What was yours, Joan? Steak, chop, macaroni?
I will have one of the pellets, Mr. Hall.
Mr. Hall?
You appear to be a gentleman of note, Jerry.
I don't think she meant it that way. But here's your bacon and eggs, Captain. I think I'll have some pancakes and honey for mine.
I shall now restrict the angle of our dive to 5 degrees. That will enable us to reach 3,000 feet in a short time and will also allow me adequate protection from the automatic pilot. I will soundproof the ship, fix the controls, and return to the stern section.
You must be very tired, Joan, and Jerry also.
I am tired, Mother.
Well, I have felt a lot more chipper than I do now. But if there's anything to do, well, I can stick around and help do it.
Not a thing in the world, Jerry. You run along with Joan and get some sleep. If you can sleep on those thin steel sheets they call beds.
If the fatigue is sufficient, those couches will seem soft.
I managed to get some rest on one.
The control is now entirely automatic, Captain. Call me if you observe anything you do not understand.
I guess I can handle it all, Joan. Wait a minute. How about the radio? Can we use it?
I would not attempt to send messages until we have reached a point much nearer Los Angeles. As we descend, it will be more and more difficult for the Euclideans to determine our exact position, though they will easily locate us when we rise to the surface at the end of our journey. I think we can well afford to wait a few hours before sending any messages.
Right you are, Joan. Sorry I brought it up.
Come on. Let's go back and iron out that steel in those bunks. Don't forget to call us after the 4-hour watch.
If there should be any extreme vibration of the submarine, you will call me at once, Captain?
Right, Joan. Now go on to sleep and let Pat and me worry.
Well, I may be foolish, Tex, but I'm not worrying a great deal.
You know, neither am I. Joan knows what she's talking about. If she says we can reach Los Angeles in this thing and be safe as long as we stay near the bottom, well, I know we can do just that.
But how we must have changed, Tex. All in the few short months since we left home on this cruise to find Joan.
Yes, we've seen a lot. Become accustomed to some mighty strange things during that time. Not that submarines are anything new, but this is certainly a far better boat than anything we've got at home.
Yes, better than we have at home. That's what I'm afraid of, Tex. Not pursuit and capture by those scientists. Not G-47 and his threats. I'm afraid because there's a terrible fascination in what we've learned.
I know just how you feel, Pat. I felt it, but I didn't like to say it. After all our worry and struggle to get back home, I wonder, will we ever be happy there again?
That's just what I meant, Tex. I'm afraid we've seen too much to give it all up. Euclidia is a wonderful place.
Now, step into the incredible, amazing future as we go exploring tomorrow. And now, here is your guide to these adventures of the mind, John Campbell, Jr.
Hate and love are really quite close to each other. Usually hate stems from a misunderstanding of something which, properly understood, would make love. One of the concepts that many people don't see, miss, just get all wrong, is the fact that there is superiority and there is inferiority. But those things are specialized and narrowed into special areas. If you don't recognize them, the system won't work at all. If you do recognize them, well, you know, each must then recognize two things: that he is superior and that he's inferior. This is a story of a man who hadn't learned, hadn't found out the importance of special superiority and special inferiority.
Phil, are you ready for a drink?
My name is not Philip. My name is Senga.
What?
Nothing.
You'd better drink this.
Thanks.
To our last night on Earth for some time to come. Or better yet, to this house where I was born. To the green mountains and jungles we've loved and hunted in. To all this we leave behind.
I was looking at her.
Yes, she's beautiful. The brightest planet of them all.
She's dark and she's ugly.
Not from this distance.
From here, no. But she's ugly.
The ancients didn't think so when they named her Venus.
They never got there.
No. But you did. You've been there.
So will you. Tomorrow you'll be on your way. We both will.
Sen, you've never talked much about the place.
I told you it's hot. Very hot.
Animals?
A great many. But I saw only a few. You mostly only hear them. Once I wanted to go hunting. Your father said no. He couldn't forget I was Indian.
You and I have hunted here, so don't talk rot.
Your father never approved. All right, he picked me up in the mountains here when I was 4 years old. He brought me to this house. Now I am 32 with 28 years of education and civilization behind me, but I am still Indian. All right, Guido. Tell me I have a complex.
No. But ever since you came back from Venus, you've had a chip on your shoulder. Now, come on, fella. You and I grew up like brothers. There's no difference between us.
Isn't there?
And you're a first-rate space pilot, as good as my father was.
As good as you, too?
Just as good. After all, you brought the ship back to Earth alone. Oh, almost alone, anyway. You had my father's body with you. He was a great man, son. The greatest space explorer of this age.
Yes, he was a great man.
At least it was you who shared his last minutes. You he chose to go with him on that trip. He thought quite a lot of you.
It was not a matter of choice that he took me along.
What do you mean by that?
Nothing. I've said more than I intended.
I have a right to know, Phil.
Yes. When we get there, let's call it a night. We blast off at dawn. We need sleep. Green light.
Blast off.
Coffee?
Thanks, I can use a cup.
250,000 miles out in space before morning coffee. Not bad, eh?
Phil.
Yes?
My father was not the first man to land on Venus. But no one else, so far as we know, found diamonds there.
No one else ever went to the right area. Besides, you use the word diamond in the plural sense. The singular would be more correct. The peak of this mountain is one solid diamond, pushed up there from the interior by volcanic action. A slab of diamond that must weigh 7,000 tons.
If it's true, then diamonds back home will become absolutely worthless.
Not immediately. And what happens later will not concern us.
Why didn't you bring back a sample?
There were many reasons. You'll understand when you get there.
There's a lot you haven't told me.
A great deal, yes, but it can wait. Let's play some chess.
Exploring Tomorrow continues in just a moment.
All of us, as American citizens, believe in our inherent liberties and freedoms, such as the freedom of association, assembly, and action. But if you will read the First Amendment to the Constitution, you will notice that it is worded, Congress shall make no law abridging the right of the people peaceably to assemble. Whatever the association, assembly, or action, it must be accomplished peaceably. We are given the right to petition, for example, but that right cannot be used to bring malice upon others. We must assume the responsibility for the purposes and actions of associations and assemblies. And if we accept that responsibility, we ensure our freedom.
When a kid grows up, at a certain period of life, he stops being a child, and yet he is not yet a man. He's an adolescent, somewhere in between. This is one of the most critical areas of development. This is where we have our juvenile delinquents starting, becoming what they are. The juvenile delinquent is an adolescent gone wrong and misunderstanding. An adolescent is in the problem of inferiority and superiority. He's inferior to his parents, and it's a general inferiority because the parents have greater experience, greater understanding, greater wisdom, simply by the sheer accumulation of understanding of problems they've had to solve and experience themselves.
We have to walk about a quarter of a mile through the jungle. Then we start to climb. What's the matter?
Maybe hallucination.
You saw something?
No, someone.
Oh?
A man, half naked, a savage. You saw him, too.
Yes, I glimpsed him.
There are people here.
That's right.
You told the newspapers you saw no sign of people.
I didn't feel like telling the newspapers all I saw any more than your father did after his first trip here. Oh, yes, Guido. He knew about these people. He never told anyone.
They're human, like us.
Descendants from a group of people who came here from Earth millions of years ago. People more advanced in science than we are today. Only through the years they lost their knowledge, reverted to the jungle. At least, that was your father's theory.
Are they hostile?
I'm not sure.
They've seen the ship before, of course.
Yes, they've seen it before. They know we come out of space.
It's fantastic. Descendants of Earth people. It's as fantastic as your Diamond Mountain.
The Diamond Mountain is very real. Come. We have a long walk.
How far up are we?
About 1,000 feet above ground level, I'd say.
The air's thin. Shouldn't be this thin at only 1,000 feet.
Nevertheless, it is.
I can hardly breathe.
It won't get much worse. Stick it out.
We should have brought oxygen masks.
It's too hot. They'd be impractical.
That's right. Maybe it's the heat, not so much the thin air. I feel as though I'm being scorched up.
Save your breath. Come on.
All right.
Come on.
Oh, we still got to climb. That's right. I feel like I can't go much further.
Try.
I can't. Oh. Sorry, Phil.
You did better than I thought, as a matter of fact. Much better than your father.
What?
He collapsed about 100 yards further back, but of course he was much older. Don't look so shocked.
I don't understand.
It is simple to understand. This is the place where I discovered I am not of an inferior race. Here in this place I was your father's superior. Now I am your superior. I can live where you can die, where he died.
You let him die?
No, I didn't want him to die. I wanted to enjoy my sense of superiority. I carried him back, but it was too late. He was too weakened.
I can't think properly.
But I can. Your father wanted you to come here for the diamond. It was an easy promise for me to give him. I wanted to bring you here. I wanted to realize my superiority.
It's crazy kind of talk. That's crazy. You're like my brother. He was like your father.
Oh, no. He was the great Paulo Santos, perhaps the greatest explorer and ship designer of his day. He built our ship. He was the scientist supreme, superior man. And you're his natural son. Guido, look up there. I said look up there. You can see the Diamond Peak.
Some kind of rock. Crystal rock.
No, pure diamond. I have been up there. I chipped a piece off. I brought it back here to your father. He knew it was diamond. He lived just long enough to confirm that. I can reach the diamond, you see. But you can't. No one of your race could, but I can.
I've got to get to lower ground.
Not without my help. See, you're too weak to move. You must depend on me.
You're crazy.
Oh, no. I won't let you die. But I'll take away your sidearms. I can't have you armed. How does it feel, Guido?
Feel?
About superior man suddenly confronted by superiority of an inferior race.
I've got to get to lower ground.
A situation that reflects the law of the universe, Guido. Your father was always talking about that. Well, I don't want you to die. I want you to live so that you can serve me. I get you to lower ground.
You know, hate has a very real place in life. We need it. Man is unique among the living things on this planet in that he does have hate. Man hated the wolf. He hated the cave bear. He eliminated those species that were just not tolerable. Hate has a good side. Hate has a place. The difficulty is when the hate is misplaced, when it is generalized and not specialized to the point where it belongs, to the thing that is really wrong. I'm afraid Phil misunderstood and had his hate directed in the wrong direction. It wasn't a race he hated. He just thought he did. What he hated was to have someone who was older and wiser than he himself. And now he had misplaced it to another guy who was trying to do a good job with him.
You won't have any use for sidearms, so don't try to get them back. If you do, I'll kill you.
What do you have in mind?
I have a plan, but I'll need to have the help of the people here. You can't reach the diamond, but I can, and so can they. Our job is to get them to carry the drilling equipment up that hill so that I can start chipping the diamond.
You think they'll work for you?
They're afraid of me. After your father died, they attacked, and I had to kill some of them with a blaster. That's why they don't show themselves now. It may take a little while, but I've got to make them understand that they must do what I want.
Suppose you succeed.
Well, when I leave here, I'll take away enough diamond to convert into enough cash that will make me just about the richest man on earth. Once I've done that...
What about me?
You?
Won't I be an obstacle?
No.
You'll do away with me?
Not here. I'll wait until we're out in space.
Just like that?
I'm afraid so. It's funny, isn't it?
Oh, yes. You identify yourself with what you call an inferior race and resent the people who made you our intellectual equal.
Human nature. I should feel grateful instead, eh? Is that it?
You've been shown nothing but kindness. Gratitude wouldn't be out of place.
If you only knew how I hated that word.
I know. Some people do. It makes them squirm. They cry for help, they get it, and they hate you for it.
I didn't cry for help.
Yes. You were a child of 4, abandoned in the jungle. You were crying when my father found you. You'd have died or been killed by some animal. Or survived and just been a savage.
Now it's coming out. Everything you and your father felt about me.
I'm sorry for you, Phil.
You sorry for me. I hold the reins.
No. History is full of people like you. The little upstarts with a lust for power and hatred. You never last long. The law of the universe never tolerates you.
Law of the universe. You sound like your father.
That's nice to know, Phil. By the way, we're being watched.
I know that.
You'd better let me have my sidearm.
Not a chance.
You said these people were scared.
They are.
Not scared enough. That's another law of the universe and a lesson from history. People are never too scared to resist an invader. And we're invaders.
They won't resist if I turn this blaster on them again.
The ones you kill won't.
I don't want to kill them. I want to talk to them.
In what language?
Sign language. What else?
You can try.
May take weeks or months.
Well, what happens in the meantime?
We'll go back to the ship. There's open space there. Sooner or later, a few of them will approach us. Then I'll try to talk to them.
Then we better start down, unless we're surrounded.
I'll blast our way through if there's trouble. Come on. Keep ahead of me where I can see you.
No trouble. You see? I'm sure I spotted a couple.
Shadows. All right. We're about a quarter of a mile from the ship. Come on. Keep in front. Get down. A slingshot. A piece of rock.
Yes, it hit this tree instead of one of us.
Piece of rock. Here it is.
A diamond the size of a small egg.
Diamonds for ammunition. This planet must be crawling with diamonds. Keep down. I blast them to kingdom come.
I'll bet we're the first ones in history to be stoned with diamonds. Better pick them up.
You pick them up. I could just see what those savages are.
They're not too close. We can't stay here. Come on before they close in from all sides. You may not have time to shoot in all directions.
All right. We push on.
Got a feeling they see us.
The ship is pretty close now.
Oh, we got away. I had to use a gun once. Better keep quiet. You have a nasty cut on your head. We're going back to report to the World Council. Every country in the world has a stake in this matter. The Council will decide what to do about the diamonds, not us.
Why didn't you leave me there? To them.
Let's say two basic laws came into conflict. The law of the universe decreed your death. You're alive only because of the basic law of civilized human nature, compassion. You've still got to learn that, Phil. Nothing will change that.
You can make yourself and a lot of other people around you mighty unhappy if you try to have all values and be able to do everything. Consider yourself tops at anything around. None of us has that ability. We can't do it all. But each of us has his own special talents, his own individual abilities. And for these, every one of us is valued. And every one of us needs every other one for that special individual talent. No individual is everything. The other guy's got something you need.
Heard in our cast tonight were Mason Adams and Donald Bucher. The script was by John Fleming. Produced and directed by Sanford Marshall here in New York. This is Guy Wallace speaking.
We pause now for station identification.
Presenting the transcription feature, Superman!
Guys, look!
now, Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, star reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle against crime and injustice. The Clara M., last of the old clipper ships, with Clark Kent and Jimmy Olsen aboard, pushes her way southward to Panama through a swirling wall of fog. Strange and mysterious things are happening aboard the Clara M., for once again the Whistler, legendary sailor lost overboard many years ago, has been heard prowling about the decks of the old vessel. As our last episode ended, Jimmy, leaving Clark Kent to pursue his investigation on deck, went below to his cabin to get a flashlight. As he rummaged in the drawer for the flashlight, he heard... But wait. Listen.
That's funny. The flashlight was right here in this top drawer. I'm sure What? Holy mackerel. Now what have I got into? Gosh, what'll I do? I better light the oil lamp. There, that's better. Huh. No one in the cabin, but they're still here. Gosh. Sounds like a lost soul or something. Where's it coming from? Seems to be coming from that wall, from inside the wall. There's no door there or anything. Someone or something inside that wall. If whatever it is could get in, it can get out. Come out, whoever you are, come out. Come on out, I said. The moaning has stopped. Whatever was moaning must still be inside that wall. Maybe I better try a little trick. Come out or I'll shoot. You heard me. I've got a gun and I'll use it. Okay, you asked for it.
Don't shoot. Don't shoot.
What the... Holy mackerel, a kid. Say, who are you and how'd you get inside that wall?
That sliding panel. Ain't you got eyes? I've been living inside there since this rotten ship left port. And I ain't no kid. I'm 14. Oh.
What's the matter with you? What are you all doubled up like that?
Can't you do nothing but ask questions? Can't you?
Oh, I see. You're the one who stole the roast chicken. You're the whistler.
Oh, my stomach.
Gobbled the chicken up too fast and got indigestion, didn't you?
What's killing me? Can't you do something?
Oh, maybe I can. There's a medicine chest in this cabin, and I think I saw some bicarbonate of soda in it. Wait a minute. Yeah, here it is, all right.
What'll it do?
Kill your pain, I hope.
Oh.
So you're the one that's been causing us all the trouble. You're the whistling stove.
Oh.
Here, drink this down.
What's it taste like?
Never mind that. Drink it down, every drop of it. Come on.
Okay, you don't gotta rush me. Oh, that stuff tastes awful.
Finish it.
Give me a chance.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh.
You'll feel better in a minute. What's your name?
What's it to you?
Now, look, fella, you're not going to get anywhere acting tough.
I like the way I like.
You've caused us enough trouble. Whistling in the darkness and scaring the sailors out of their wits. Why did you do it?
That's my business, pal.
I think it'll be the captain's business, too. Mr. Kent. Come on. You're going up on deck with me.
Oh, yeah? I ain't feeling so good, and maybe I still got pains in my stomach. But I still got enough left in me to hand you one on the bazooka. I'm not going nowhere with you.
That's what you think. Come on.
Stay away from me or I'll let you...
You'll what?
Just this. Ow! Hey, let go, my little finger. What you doing? Ow!
That's a little jiu-jitsu trick Mr. Kent taught me. Now, are you going to come quietly or do I have to force you?
I'll come quiet. Oh. Wise guy, huh? You see, I can't even stand up straight on account I got a stomachache. You get tough. Makes you feel like a big shot, don't it?
Stop whining and come on. We're going up on deck.
Sure. We're going on deck. But we ain't going to get up. Ooh, found that off your chin, big shot.
You took me off guard. Hey, come back here.
Go jumping away.
Come back here. You can't get away. You're bound to get caught. Come back here, I said. There.
Take your hands off me, you.
Until you see Mr. Kent. On deck here somewhere. Probably at the other end of the ship. Now, come on.
Listen, you, maybe you think you're tough because you got me with that jiu-jitsu business once. I can handle 5 guys like you. Now, go on, say it.
You can't get away, so you might just as well come along quiet.
I've had all I want out of you. Oh.
Did you see that one coming in the fog? So you want to fight, eh?
Yeah.
All right, I'll see if I come back here.
Hey, you little... Hey, let go of my ear,
I'm taking you to Mr. Kent if I have to take down a stretcher.
Say, you!
You call that a punch? Try this one.
Oh, not bad. How do you like that? There's more where that came from if you... Oh!
Come on, get up. And don't tell me you slipped.
Call me off balance, that's all. I'll get you for this. I'll bust you in half. I'll put you...
Take your hands off my throat. You're bending me over the rail.
You got it right, pal. You're going overboard. And you're going right now.
And you're going with me.
That's what you think, you little... Hey, let go.
I can't save myself.
Let go of me. We're falling. Where are you? Where are you?
Right here. Strike out for the ship. She's moving away from us fast.
I can't swim.
Can't swim? Holy mackerel. Oh, it's all right now. I got you. Just take it easy.
Oh, I'm going to drown.
We're not going to drown. Get up. Stop talking.
We're going under. Oh.
Maybe that'll teach you to keep your mouth closed. Hold on to me. Put your hands on my shoulders. I'm going to try to make the ship. Hold on. Our only chance, kid. Hold on.
That you, Mr. Kent?
Yes, Barnaby.
I browsed them in over the forecastle. They're searching the ship for the Whistler again, and they'll find him this time, you may lay to that. What were you doing just standing here?
Why, I told Jimmy I'd meet him here at the forward companionway. He went down to his cabin to get a flashlight.
Flashlight won't do much good in this fog. It's getting thicker.
Well, better than matches.
Mayhap. Didn't see no sign of the Whistler, eh?
No, not a sign of him. I can't imagine what's behind all this, Barnaby.
No more can I. But we'll find out when we lay our hands on him. And that won't be long from now, I'm thinking. Good thing, too.
You mean the crew?
Aye. The Whistler was the reason behind that mutiny we had a couple of days ago. The men are scared, Mr. Kent. They're calling the Clara M a haunted ship. If we can lay our hands on the Whistler, why, we can prove to them...
Wait a minute.
What?
Shh, quiet. Thought I heard someone running along the deck up forward.
Huh? I didn't hear nothing. Fog is a peculiar thing, you know. Sometimes make you think you're hearing things.
Wait. Don't you hear... I can't be sure, but it sounds like voices.
You're keen hearing if you can hear voices in this fog, Mr. Kent. I can't hear a thing.
Well, all the same, we'd better get up forward. Come on.
Right through here.
Sounds as if there's a fight going on. Hard to tell, really, in this
You
fog.
can't believe your ears in the fog. I'll lay to that.
Well, I want to... Wait.
Now what?
Barnaby, I may be hearing things, but if that wasn't a splash as if someone had fallen overboard... Come on.
See anything up forward there?
Well, not a thing. But if someone fell overboard, why...
Ah, who'd be falling overboard, Mr. Kent?
What I mean is, if someone, one of your men, had caught up with the Whistler, and there'd been a fight...
Read your canvas, Mr. Kent. You're imagining things. No one knows a fog like an old sailor such as myself. And I'm telling you, it's been playing tricks with your ears.
I dare say you're right.
We'd best keep looking for the Whistler. They're coming along, sir. The men may have found it by this time. Hey, what are you looking all through the fog for?
Nothing. Only I've got a feeling that... Oh, never mind. Probably just imagining things, as you said. Come on, Barnaby. Let's keep looking for the Whistler.
We're making it. You ain't getting nowhere. Just keep your head. We'll make it all right. We will, huh? Look at those riding lights in the Clara M. They get further and further away all the time. Look, the fog's closing in around here. Take it easy. Be quiet. I won't. Look, we can't see the lights no more. You'll never get to the ship now. We're going to drown, that's what. We're going to drown. Help! Help, we're drowning! You stop struggling. How do you expect me to swim if you stop it, or we'll both go under? We're going to go under anyway. We're done for. Done for. I can't swim for the both of us. We'll never reach the ship. It's gone. We can't catch up to it. Stop struggling. You're making this a lot harder. Out your arms. You're strangling me. This is the only way. Oh. Now you'll be quiet. There. Up on your back. Hand under your chin. And now to try and make the boat.
Will Jimmy succeed in reaching the Clara M? And will he manage to save the unknown boy stowaway? Be sure to hear the next thrilling episode of our story with Superman.
Tune in the next thrilling installment of the transcription feature, Superman.
Up in the sky. Look, it's a bird.
It's a plane. It's Superman. Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine. Presenting the transcription feature, Superman.
Up in the sky. Look, it's a bird.
It's a plane. It's Superman.
And now, Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, star reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle against crime and injustice. Like a phantom vessel, the Clara M, last of the old clipper ships, moves southward toward Panama through a shroud of gray and swirling fog. Aboard her, encountering many mysterious adventures, are Clark Kent and young Jimmy Olsen. Greatest of mysteries has been that of the Whistler, a sailor who many years ago was washed overboard in a storm, and who is said to return to the Clara M at night, walking her decks whistling. But in our last episode, Jimmy Olsen discovered the Whistler to be a boy of his own age, who has been a stowaway on the clipper ship. A fight ensued between the stowaway and Jimmy, a fight which ended in both boys falling overboard, locked in each other's arms. Supporting the unconscious boy, Jimmy tried valiantly to swim to the Clara M, but without success. Slowly, the red and green riding lights of the ship slipped into the thick fog and were gone. Meanwhile, aboard the clipper, Clark Kent and Peg-Leg Pete Barnaby are walking the wet deck. Listen.
Strange, Barnaby. Very strange. I was so sure I heard a cry for help coming to us out of the fog.
Well, fog's a peculiar something, Mr. Kent. Make you hear things that ain't there. Now come away from that rail and stop staring off into the soup. There's nothing you heard but your imagination.
Jimmy ought to be on deck by this time. He went below to get a flashlight. We better get up toward the forward companionway. I said I'd meet him there.
Well, there's the forward companionway just ahead, Mr. Kent. You can just make out the light from the doorway shining yellow in the fog.
Yes. Fog seems to be getting worse, Barnaby. Can't see a hand 2 feet in front of you.
I've sailed the seas a lifetime, Mr. Kent. And I've yet to see it thicker than this. Fit to slice it in. Now, here's the forward companionway, and no sign of a line.
No. Barnaby, you go on with the search for the Whistler. I'm going down to Jimmy's cabin.
Right, get out, Mr. Kent. We'll run into each other again somewhere around the deck.
Right.
See you later.
Here's Jimmy's room. Door's open and the oil lamp is lit. Jimmy's not here. Oh, funny he wasn't... Wait a minute, what's this? Chair knocked over? Package of bicarbonate of soda spilled all over the floor? Hello, what in the world? Why, there's another room next to Jimmy's. More a closet than a room. Sliding panel. What's this lying on the floor? Something wrapped in a large piece of oiled silk. No time to examine it. Something's happened to Jimmy, I'm sure of it now. And that cry for help coming through the fog astern of the Clara M. Of course. This is a job for Superman. Gotta get on deck. I've got to get there fast. Now then, Jimmy's out there somewhere. He either fell or was thrown overboard. That was his cry for help, I heard. Well, fog or no fog, I'll find him. Up! Up! And away!
to make it. That's it. Can't. No, I can't. I can just see a foghorn at Clara M. Must be a mile away. This fella's heavy. He's coming too. What? Take it easy. Stay on your back in the water. I've got my hand under your chin. You can't sink so long as I keep going. You're trying to save me. Trying to save us both. You'll never make it. Not with me, you won't. Just let me go. Shut up. I ain't afraid. Honest, I ain't. It'll be over quick. Shut up. I can't swim. There's a boat going down. We won't. Oh, my arms getting tired. Can hardly lift them. We're going under. Going under.
Even with my eyes, it's hard to pierce this fog. Don't see a thing on the water. Not a sign of Jimmy. Well, maybe I was wrong. Maybe I only thought I heard that cry for help. And Jimmy's safe aboard the Clara M. Now, there's the foghorn of the Clara M. Must be all of a mile from here. If Jim had fallen or was pushed overboard, he wouldn't be any further away than this. Well, I haven't spotted him, so I must be wrong. Better return to the ship. I'll swing around. Wait! There below. Thought I saw two heads bobbing on the surface. Two. Wait, there they are again. Two people, and they're fighting. They're going under. Gotta dive for them. Down! Down! Dark down here under the water. Almost pitch dark. Wait, there they are. Sinking. Still locked in each other's arms. I got him. Now, up to the surface, and down, up.
Leaping from the fog-bound water, Superman speeds toward the Clara M, carrying the unconscious forms of Jimmy and the unknown stowaway in his arms. Meanwhile, the ship's crew, after a fruitless search for the Whistler, gather in the forecastle.
It's like I've always said, the Whistler is a phantom, a will-o'-the-wisp.
Hey, good lush, man, that's superstitious, Doc. Just because you can't find the Whistler doesn't mean to say he's a spirit.
Yeah? What do you know about it? We've been over this tub looking for the Whistler 2 times and we ain't never seen him. Ain't that proof enough that he don't exist in flesh and blood? What do you say, Limey?
I'm not saying a word, not a blimmin' word, I ain't. I've had my say. And what happened? Just when I did you all to victory, when we could have taken this here ship and sailed to where we pleased, you all turned tail and joined up with Barnaby again. Sure, I believe the Whistler's a spirit, but I ain't saying a word about it, not one bloomin' word.
Well, 'tis myself that says let's go to Barnaby and demand to be set ashore at the nearest port. And if Barnaby refuses us...
All right, Mr. Kent. Bring him in here.
Oh, the saints in heaven. It's the captain himself carrying a lad in his arms.
Aye, and with Mr. Kent behind him, carrying young Jimmy. Good lush, man, they're fair soap.
They ain't drowned, are they?
Oh, still breathing, both of them.
Oh, good.
Mr. Kent and me found them on deck. So how they got there is beyond me. Also was near us, so we brought them here. Clear them bunks off.
Aye, lend a hand, lad. Come on.
Must have fell overside, both of them.
Aye, but if they fell overside, how did they get on board again? And who's the other lad?
I don't know. Can't understand it. There's been a lot of things happening around here I can't understand.
Jimmy's coming around. Barnaby, you better work over that other boy.
Hey, lay to here, lads. Let's get the tea out of his stomach.
Oh, all right, Jimmy. Easy does it.
Mr. King, what? The other boy, the fellow with me.
Oh, he's all right, too. Nothing to worry about.
But how did we get here?
No. We'll talk about that later. Right now, you've got to rest.
Oh, then, me bucko. No, then that's better. That's better. Waltz and Wales. You sure swallowed enough water.
Where am I?
All right, son. Now, draw some breath.
Hey, I'm alive, ain't I? I didn't drown.
You come close to it, and you can lay to that. Now, what were you doing aboard the Clara M?
Now, let me handle this, Barnaby. Son, what's your name?
Mike Flanagan. But all the guys call me Pug. Hey, where's me pal? Hey, the guy would save me. Oh, there he is.
Thanks a million, pal. It's not
Now,
for
wait
you.
a minute, Pug. Wait a minute. How did you get on board the Clara M?
I stowed away. I've been hiding in that secret closet in my pal's cabin.
Jimmy's cabin?
Yeah. Is that his name? Hiya, Jim. Hiya, Pug.
How did you find the secret closet?
Well, I got into the cabin before anybody came aboard. I leaned against the wall with my hand, and this here secret panel slid back.
Secret panel? Wilson, Wales.
And you've stowed away ever since?
Yeah, and nobody would have found me. Only tonight I caught the chicken from the galley. I guess I ate it too fast. I hadn't had nothing to eat in a long time, but Jimmy tramped. Jimmy here heard me moaning. Yeah, but never mind all this. He saved my life. Where is he? Let me go to him, huh?
Take it easy, fella. I'm okay.
Yeah, but you saved me life. Even after I tried to knock you off.
Oh, go on. You wouldn't have...
Yes, I would. I'm like that. Anybody gets in the way,
This chicken you stole from the galley. How did you manage it?
I whistled outside the galley and scared the cook. He ran out of the galley to get help, and I went in and took the chicken.
Yeah, do you mean to say that?
Yeah, I've been making believe I'm the whistler. I heard you guys talking about him, so I made out I was him. But just to get food, see, I didn't mean nothing by it. Except one night Jimmy came after me, followed me up the rigging, and I had to jump in his hand so he fell. Yeah, but there's something funny I got to
Now,
say.
you told enough. You told enough. Well, men, you see where your superstition has gotten you all? Here's your fancy whistle for you, a stowaway. Now maybe you realize what fools you've all been.
Well, 'tis me myself that's saying I was in the wrong, and I reckon the whole crew will join me in them sentiments.
Well, I'm glad to see you men have regained your senses. Now perhaps we can continue our cruise around the world in peace.
Yeah, but listen, there's something you gotta know.
And enough for that late and last. Right now you need rest.
Yeah, but you don't understand about the whistler.
Well, what about the whistler?
Well, I'm not the whistler. Not the real one.
All right, lad. All right, now. Just take
But
it
I
easy.
tell you I'm not. I just made believe I was when I needed food. But there is a whistler. A real one on board this ship. I know. I heard him myself.
What do you mean, you've heard him?
Well, it looks as if the mystery of the Whistler isn't solved after all. But it will be in our next episode, so be sure to hear it with Superman.
Tune in the next thrilling installment of the transcription feature, Superman. Up in the sky, look!
It's a bird!
It's a plane! It's Superman! Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine.
Kellogg's Pep, the build-up wheat cereal, invite you to rocket into the future with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet. Stand by to raise ship. Blast off minus 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0! Blast off to distant planets and far-flung stars, we take you to the age of the conquest of space with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet. 500 million miles out in the cold, black depths of space, a small rocket scout blasts across the invisible path marking the orbit of Jupiter on course to Earth. In the narrow cylindrical cockpit forward near the nose of the silvery ship, the pilot transmits a routine teleceiver call across the void. And in a small metal hut on Mars, the sleepy-eyed operator shakes himself awake as the call crackles in his earphones.
Space Station M5 from Rocket Scout 4J9. Come in.
Rocket Scout 4J9 from Space Station M5. Go ahead.
4J9, Space Mail Service, direct colony to Earth.
Position?
Crossing orbit of Jupiter, northwest 100, 5 degrees over plane of the ecliptic. Holding course 160. Doesn't read it.
Parker, what's wrong with you? Parker, come in. Hello, Parker. Can you hear 4J9 from Space Station M5. Come in. Great, Ganymede. M5 to all space stations. M5 to all space stations. Stand by. Disaster alert. Stand by.
Here's the story, Captain Strong. 2 days ago, Captain Mitch Parker was inbound from Titan on the Earth-Titan mail run. He made routine teleceiver contact with Space Station M5 on Mars to get position and standard data. Suddenly, contact was broken for some unknown reason. We haven't been able to raise him since.
Any search operations underway, Commander Arkwright?
Of course. I sent all patrol ships into the area immediately. Even pulled rocket liners and space freighters off orbit. But they haven't found a trace of Parker or his ship.
Well, it's only been 2 days, sir.
I realize that. The ships that are looking for Parker now have to be released. I'm organizing a full-scale rescue operation to begin tomorrow. Do you think your cadet crew is experienced enough for an assignment like this?
For the Polaris crew, of course, sir.
It'll be a long and difficult search, Strong. Even dangerous.
Don't worry about them, sir. Tom Corbett, Astro, and Roger Manning are the best cadets in the Academy. In spirit, teamwork, and cooperation, they excel at...
excuse me, Strong.
Yes, sir.
Come in.
Polaris unit reporting, sir. Great Jupiter. Tom, what happened to you?
What happened to all of them? They look like they've been through a reaction chamber.
Well, Tom?
The officer of the day told us to report to you for disciplinary action, Commander Arkwright.
Disciplinary action? What's the charge?
We're charged with fighting and wrecking the furniture in our dormitory, sir.
I see. Well, Captain Strong, so this is your Polaris crew. Is this what you call teamwork, spirit, and cooperation?
Well, boys, I managed to square it with Commander Arkwright for you. He won't take any disciplinary action until this mission is over.
Oh, that's great, Captain Strong. Swell, I knew you'd come through for us.
But now I want to know what this is all about.
Why,
Who started it this time? Well, I'm waiting for an answer.
Sir, I think I can explain.
I'd be interested in something like that, Corbett. Well?
Astro and Roger had a difference of opinion, and I tried to settle it, and Roger disagreed with me, and Astro disagreed too, and, well, I disagreed with both of them, and the next thing I knew, the bunk fell on Astro and the table was knocked over, and...
And you just tore your uniform, and Roger happened to grow that black eye, and Astro accidentally cut his lip.
I guess so.
All right. Now get this, all of it. The next time I catch the three of you fighting, I'm going to make earthworms out of you. You'll do all your rocketeering in the mess hall with a bucket and mop. You understand?
Right, Captain.
All right. Dismissed. Oh, what a crew. Captain Strong here.
This is Commander Arkwright.
Oh, yes, sir.
Alert your crew for immediate blast-off.
Immediate? But I thought you said...
One of the space freighters found a trace of reaction mass between Jupiter and the asteroid belt.
From Parker's ship?
No way of telling yet. But if he jettisons his fuel, he may be in serious trouble and completely helpless. You've got to work fast if you're going to save him.
We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, in just a moment, so stand by.
Listen to this jet plane streak through the air. That's a Republic Thunderjet up on a test flight. Jets like that are pioneers of the sky, leading the way to the air age of tomorrow. And the men who fly those jets are pioneers, too, blazing a trail for youth to follow. Would you be able to fly a jet? Well, maybe not right now, but you can build yourself up so that you'll be ready when the time comes. And one important thing to do right now is to have a good, nourishing breakfast every single morning with Kellogg's Pep, the build-up wheat cereal. Then, while you're thinking about flying jets, you can be taking on the builder-upper food values that jet pilots must have to do a good job. So start now. Eat plenty of Kellogg's Pep. Get all the strength and muscle-building food values that Pep can give you. And say, when you taste that swell Pep flavor, you want a second bowlful. Ask Mom to get the better-than-ever build-up cereal, Kellogg's Pep. P-E-P. Pep. And listen for news about the swell prize you get in every package of Kellogg's Pep in just a few minutes.
organized search operation has begun. The search through the vast reaches of space for a missing rocket scout. And now, as the rocket cruiser Polaris blasts through the void at full space speed, Captain Strong briefs his cadet crew.
Now, according to the last report from Central Control, traces of reaction mass have been found near the asteroid belt. Mass that might have been jettisoned from Captain Parker's ship.
Jettisoned, Captain? Or would there have been a leak in the hull?
No, that remains to be seen. In any case, the Vega, the Hydra, and the 3 rocket destroyers are already tracking down the mass. We're going to take a shortcut.
What do you mean, shortcut, sir?
Corbett, if you were on a rocket scout ship and developed trouble, what would you do?
Well, if I couldn't repair it in space, I'd call for help.
You'd need it. Cut that, Manning. Now, if your communications were destroyed, what would you do?
Well, I'd try to set down somewhere and see if I could repair her.
Right. Now, wouldn't it be logical to assume that that's what Captain Parker did?
But where could he land, sir? The only space junk of any size around here is in the asteroid belt.
Right, Astro. And we're going to go through the asteroid belt and look for him.
Through it? Oh, brother, this is going to be rough.
No, rough isn't the word, Manning, but I think it's our best bet.
I guess you're right, Captain.
If the ship can take it, we can, sir.
All right. You can relax for a while now. Maintain your usual 4-hour deck watches until we reach our search position. I'm going topside to contact Commander Arkwright for further orders. And, by the way, in case you don't remember, Academy regulations hold good on shipboard. No fighting.
Yes, sir.
Lucky thing for you guys.
What do you mean, Roger?
That no fighting order. I'd like to wrap you guys up good.
Oh, now listen, Roger. Have you still got that chip on your shoulder? Let's forget it. We were all off our orbit.
No, Junior, only you. We're all in the same unit, so I have to ride along with you. But that doesn't mean I like
Why,
it.
you big sorehead.
Hold it,
Astro. Look, for the last time, Roger, you're making too much of this. Astro didn't mean what he said, and neither did I. So how about shaking hands and forgetting it?
If Tom is willing, so am I.
Fellas, I got a hot space flash for you. Go blow your jets.
Control deck to radar bridge. Check in.
Radar bridge ready.
How are we doing, Manning?
Moving into the asteroid belt, sir. Pretty thick out there. My scatter screen's lit up like a Christmas tree.
Don't worry about the small pieces of space junk. We can shed those. It's the big stuff we have to avoid.
But don't worry, sir. I can play tag with these asteroids all day.
Now, don't get smart, Manning. One of those chunks of iron could rip a hole in our side and tear us apart. End transmission. Now, Tom, call Astro. Tell him to cut down to 1/4.
Aye, sir. Control deck to power deck.
Power deck, aye.
Astro, cut space speed 1/4. We're going to cut straight across the asteroid belt.
1/4 space speed, aye.
Tom, turn on the magnascope and watch every passing asteroid big enough to hold a spaceship.
Aye, sir.
We're taking a long chance on a slim hope.
Radar bridge control deck. There's a big one bearing down on us. Shift steering vanes 2.2 starboard, 1 degree up.
Hear that, Astro?
Got it, Tom.
Steering vane set. Give us a short blast, Astro.
Right down.
There she goes, sir. We missed her.
Get a good look at it, Tom.
Yes, sir. There was no ship on that space hobo.
They're coming fast, Captain Strong. 2 of them bearing down on us. You'll have to walk a tightrope between them. Hold steering vanes 1.6 to port.
Steering vanes set. Blast away, Astro.
Hang on.
Oh, that was a little too close.
No rocket ship on either one of those babies, sir.
Oh, this is a space-happy thing to do, but no, we're too deep in it now to turn back. I'm risking 4 lives and a rocket cruiser on a 1,000,000-to-1 shot.
If we find Captain Parker, it'll be worth it, sir.
Sure, but will our luck hold out?
Radar bridge control deck. Here comes the daddy of them all. Swing her wide. 12.4 degrees to port, 5 degrees up.
12.4 degrees to port, 5 degrees up. Astro, don't spare the neutrons. A long blast this time.
Hold tight, opening up.
Are we clearing it?
Yes, sir. Hold on. Here comes another one. We can't touch this one. Brace yourself for crash. Brace yourself.
Oh, Tom, are you all right?
I'm seeing stars of the 5th magnitude.
Yeah, I'm seeing a few myself. You better call Astro and Roger.
Aye, sir. Control deck to power deck. Check in.
Check in. I'm ready to check out.
Astro's okay, sir.
All right, Astro. Go over the power deck for damage.
Aye, sir.
Control deck to radar bridge. Check in. Any damage up there?
Now, that's a real intelligent question. We get clobbered up by a meteor and he asks if there's any damage. Tell the skipper all our communications are out. Scanners, teleceiver, radar, scopes, everything.
You're kidding.
No, I'm not. So it looks like we're sitting pretty, doesn't it? Flying through the asteroid belt, completely blind.
Well, boys, I've checked the ship completely. Outside of the blackout on the radar bridge, we're still in one piece.
Yeah, but how about that blackout, sir? We're sitting ducks for every piece of space junk in the belt.
Well, not since we've cut our power, Roger. We're drifting in a steady orbit now, along with all the other space junk. Chances are we won't be hit, unless we try to break out.
Yeah, but if we don't break out, Skipper, we'll drift around in this junkyard forever. We can't even call for help.
Well, the damage is to the antenna and the main power relay. The relay can be fixed up inside the ship, but the antenna means a trip outside on the hull.
Oh, brother, nothing I like better than waltzing around in space.
Well, start practicing right now, then, Roger. You, Astro, and I are going outside. Tom, you'll stay in here and work on the relay.
Aye, sir.
All right. Suit up, boys, and meet me in the airlock in 2 minutes.
Here, Roger. Let me help you with your helmet.
Don't bother, I can do it myself.
All right, hot shot. Have it your way.
And listen, you be careful you don't fall off the hull. I don't feel like fishing you out of space.
All right, boys. Now that you've got your fish bowls on, check your oxygen tanks for twice normal pressure.
Oxygen check. Okay, sir. Okay, here too, sir.
Right. Let's go. Open the portal, Astro.
Inner portal closed, sir.
Equalize pressure.
Pressure equalized, sir.
Open the outer portal, Manning.
Aye, sir.
Let's go. Hook up your static lines as soon as you're on the hull. And remember, keep your magnetic boots flat against the hull.
Hello, Astro. Manning, check in.
What do you want, Junior?
What's taking so long? What's going on out there, Roger?
We're playing marbles with these pieces of space junk. Go back to your building up and don't bother us.
Hand me that wrench, Astro, and those adapters.
Right, sir. But what's happened to all the space junk? Seems awful empty out here.
Yeah, we may have drifted through the worst of it.
I don't know. It's too quiet after all the battering we took.
Hand me that number 3 adapter, Astro.
Yes, sir. You know, I'll never get used to working upside down like this and not falling off.
Free fall has its advantages. And one of them is having no weight.
Getting strong. Astro, get down! Quick! Here comes a meteor! Get down!
By the craters of Luna, that was a close one.
Yes, too close. Now listen, Manning. If you'd stop gassing so much and keep your eyes peeled with... Roger.
Captain Strong, the static line is torn. Look, he's off the ship. He's drifting out into space.
We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, in just a moment, so stand by.
It's here. Yes, it's here. A brand new, exciting new premium in every package of Kellogg's Pep. And it's waiting for you right this instant at your grocery store.
That's right, boys and girls. In every box of Kellogg's Pep, there's a magic moving picture eye. The magic eye is a gleaming plastic disc. And right in the center, there's an exciting picture. When you tilt the magic eye back and forth, the picture actually starts moving. There are pictures of planes, trains, and TV and movie stars like Tom Corbett and Bob Hope of Paramount Pictures and The Bob Hope Show.
Yes, sir. Every magic eye has a picture that's packed with famous people in action. You can collect as many as 16 different magic eyes. 16 different pictures altogether. So easy to get, too. There's one waiting for you now, free, at no extra cost, in every single package of Kellogg's Pep. You'd better start your collection today.
Remember, for your magic eye, Ask Mom to buy P.E.P. Pep.
While out on the hull of the rocket cruiser Polaris making emergency repairs in space, Roger Manning is suddenly swept off and sent spinning helplessly into the void.
Look, Captain Strong. There he goes, drifting down along the hull.
Listen, Astro, call Tom. Quick. Tell him to bring out a body jet. Hurry. I'm going down to the fins. Maybe I can catch him.
Right, sir. Hello, Tom. Tom, come in.
Right here, Astro. How's it going?
Listen, Roger's been knocked off the ship. He's drifting out in space.
Great jumping Jupiter.
Captain Strong wants you to bring out a body jet.
Oh, no. By the time I suit up and get out there with a body jet, Roger will be out of sight. We'll never find him.
What else can we do?
Wait. I've got an idea. I'm going to head with the ship toward him.
What?
Hang on out there. I'm firing up our rocket.
Oh, brother. Spaceman's luck, pal.
Who fired our rockets?
Tom did, sir. He's maneuvering the ship toward Roger. He figures it's Roger's only chance.
Oh, that's risky. He might fry Roger in the exhaust blast. Oh, but maybe it's the better gamble.
Better hold on, sir. I'm starting to cut around.
Hello, Tom. Come in.
Yes, sir.
Watch your heading. Don't over control or you'll spin us completely around.
Doing my best.
Now ease off now. Hold her straight and level as you can. You're heading right for Roger.
Do it, Astro. We have to get him on the first pass, sir.
I know. And we'll do it. You've cut your power. Now, let her drift.
Right, sir.
Captain Strong, we're going to miss him. We're going to miss him by at least 10 feet.
Blast it. Tom, quick.
Oh, wait a minute, sir. Play out my static line. I'm going to push off and try to grab him.
Wait, Astro.
Hang on to my line, sir. Here I go.
How's Roger now, Captain Strong? Will he be okay?
Yes, Tom, he'll be all right. Just suffering from shock. Those blood pills will fix him up fine.
Hey, he's coming out of it. What's going on here? What am I doing in this bunk? You were knocked off the ship, Roger. Me? Uh-huh, and we had to fish you out of space. You're full of meteor dust.
Well, it's the truth, Manning. If it hadn't been for Tom and Astro, you'd be a part of the asteroid belt now. Just another piece of space junk.
Yeah, I suppose I would. And Tom and Astro,
That's right, Manning. Now, you just rest there. I'm going topside and start plotting our course out of here. Tom? Astro? You stay with him.
I don't need anybody staying with me. I'm okay.
You're not getting out of that bunk. We need all personnel in top condition. But don't forget, we still have to find Captain Parker. I'll see you later, boys.
You want something, Roger? No, tell me something. Yeah? What did we have that fight about? Uh-oh, here we go again. Does it make that much difference, Roger? No, that's what I was driving at. It doesn't make any difference at all. And, I'm not very good at saying these things, but what you guys did for me and all, cut it out, will you, Manning? You'll have me crying. Yeah. Relax and act natural, will you? Go blow your jets.
Don't miss the next action-packed adventure with Tom, Corbett, and the Space Cadets on Thursday, when the search for Captain Parker and the missing rocket scout is resumed, and the boys rocket into danger. Tune in, same time, same station, for the next thrilling interplanetary adventure with Tom Corbett. Hey, Cadet. Brought to you by Kellogg's Pep, the build-up wheat cereal. Space Cadet, starring Frankie Thomas, can also be seen on television and appears in the comic sections of many of America's leading newspapers. Look for it daily and in weekend editions. Featured in the cast are Al Markham as Astro, Jan Merlin as Roger Manning, and Edward Bryce as Captain Strong. Today's program was written by Jack Weinstock and Willie Gilbert, directed by Drex Hines. Jackson Beck speaking.
Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a secret. Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a secret.
And what a secret! In Kellogg's Raisin Bran, the tasty raisins are dipped in honeycomb. That means plumper, more tender raisins, along with delicious golden crisp bran flakes, both fruit and cereal, all in one box. And no other raisin brand but Kellogg's gives you the tender goodness of raisins dipped in honeycomb. That's Kellogg's secret. So for your breakfast, make sure you get Kellogg's.
Tired of the everyday routine? Ever dream of a life of romantic adventure? Want to get away from it all?
We offer you Escape. Escape, designed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure. Escape, brought to you by your Richfield gasoline dealer and the Richfield Oil Corporation of New York, marketers of Richfield gasolines, motor oils, and other petroleum products. Look for the Richfield Eagle on the cream and blue puffs.
Tonight, we escape to the Old West in the story of a boy who never owned anything but a gun. As Joel Murcott tells it in his exciting tale, Sundown.
The sun is kissing the top of the mountains, and in a minute the shadows will start to sneak along the street. It's sundown, and you can't do nothing to stop it. Everybody knows that. That's why the town looks like a ghost town. Not a horse nor a rider in sight, not even a tumbleweed. Oh, there's folks around, all right, looking out from door cracks and windows. And now the street ain't empty no more. Here's what they've been waiting for. There's Kirby Hunsaker coming out of the saloon at one end of the town, and there's Ben Ford coming from a liver stable at the other end. Both of them walking towards each other slow, right hands hanging like claws, an inch from the gun holsters. In a minute, one of them will be dead. Kirby Hunsaker or Ben Ford. Little Ben. Nothing but a baby when I picked him up off of the desert 15 years ago. Hold up a minute, Sam.
What is it?
Over there, dried out hole, see?
Yeah, looks like a man.
Let's have a look.
Yeah, it's a man right enough. What's left of him?
Oh, he's come a long way for water. Come to the wrong place. Give me a hand with him.
You alive?
I don't know. Yeah, he's alive. Can't he?
Here, friend. Swig this.
You better hold it to him.
Huh?
Son's got his eyes are blind.
Oh.
Drink it. Drink just a little bit of it. It ain't gonna help him much. Burn clean through.
Yeah.
That better?
Thanks. My wife and my kid.
Yeah, where they at?
Back there. Where I left the wagon. Animals died. I came for water. Better give me some more, Dan.
No, he don't need it no more. All we can do is find his wife and kid, if there's anything left to find. There was something left. A sun-baked wagon in the midst of that hellish inferno, a dead woman and a kid. 5-year-old boy. His face is burned, his lips is cracked with fever, but his eyes stared out across that desert like they was following some nightmare that nobody else could see. He didn't cry, he didn't whimper, he didn't talk. We gave him water and he took it. Wasn't no place to send him. He just stood there watching us as we buried his mother.
Well, what do we do about him?
A kid? Take him with us, I reckon. Ain't much else we can do.
Ain't nobody on the ranch to take care of him.
No, ain't nobody here neither. He's like a little cactus, Sam. He'll grow or he'll die. He grew. Big, raw-boned kid, and by the time he was 12, he could handle a man's work. And I had a feeling for him, a feeling like he was my own. A feeling that could make me hurt when I looked at him.
Dan?
Yeah, Ben?
Do I have any money?
Well, yeah, I reckon you have. You work for your keep.
How much do I have, Dan?
Well, now, I don't know. It takes some figuring. But this is your home, boy. Everything that's here is yours.
Do I have enough to buy a horse?
Why, I reckon so.
Then I want my own horse.
See. All right, boy. Take your pick.
That 3-year-old black with a star on his face. I want him.
All right. You just bought yourself a horse. Yeah, he'd bought himself a horse, but it was more than that to him. It meant he had something that was his, come flood or thunder, something in the world that belonged to him and not to nobody else. It gave him a reason for being alive, and he started to build his life around that black horse. No horse ever got care like that. Ben had had the horse for almost a year when Kirby Hunsaker came. He rode in one afternoon while me and Sam was down at the corral. Ben was in town with a buckboard picking up supplies when Hunsaker rode in, just pounding leather.
Well, Mike. Well. Howdy.
Howdy. Your horse looks like he could use a rest, stranger.
Needs shoeing. You'd be all right. I'll trade him and cash for a fresh horse.
Ain't nobody gonna ride a horse of mine that way.
Maybe you didn't hear me. I said I'm going to trade him. That means I'm going to trade him. My name's Kirby Hunsaker.
He said the name like it should mean something, and it did. Kirby Hunsaker, a name that was drifting all over the West with a trail of blood behind it. Stagecoach drivers and travelers carried it on their tongues, and he knew it. He had a face like a woman, and eyes like a steel trap, and there wasn't no glove on his right hand. It was brown and weathered from sun and wind, and it hung close to his right side like a claw, never more than an inch from the butt of his gun. A gunfighter.
If you're thinking it over, you're wasting my time.
Better do it, Dan.
All right, Hunsaker.
I'll take the black with the star on his face. Put a rope on him. I said put a rope on him.
Not that one. He ain't mine.
I ain't asking whose he is. Put a rope on him.
Any other horse, any one you want, even trade.
Get that horse and keep your hand away from that gun.
Dan, do what he says. You can give young Ben the Palomino. He's just a kid, and a horse is a horse. He'll forget about it.
No, he won't, Sam. He won't never forget it.
Pronto, friend. Put a rope on that black pronto.
There wasn't nothing else to do. Hunsaker saddled Ben's horse and just lit out down the trail. Me and Sam just stood there. We were still standing there when Ben brought the buckboard back from town. I watched his eyes go to the corral like they always did, and then he turned and looked at me and Sam like we was a firing squad.
Where's my horse, Dan?
I told him. His face was like stone, but there was a change in his eyes. They got back that same look they had the day I picked him up half dead on the desert. Lost and robbed and helpless.
You let him take my horse.
Well, that Palomino's worth twice as much, boy.
Not to me, Dan. The Palomino ain't mine.
Yes, he is. And I'm giving him to you.
I don't want him. I want my own horse.
Hey, simmer down, boy. You come back here.
Let him go, Sam. Let him go. He'll cool off. We might as well unload this here buckboard.
All right, I'll drive her on up the house.
Get up there, boy.
Hey, Ben. Ben, wait.
Yeah, that fool kid ain't even using a saddle.
Now, crazy. He's going after Hunsaker. Huh? Hurry up, Sam. Saddle up. Hurry up. He was riding hard and light, and We was distant before we even got started, but we followed the cloud of dust that trailed after him. Then sundown hit, and he was lost somewheres in the night.
There ain't much chance to find him now, unless he stops and strikes fire.
He won't stop. Yeah, be a moon pretty quick.
Hey, wait. Listen.
Yeah, it's a horse. Oh. Must be over at the edge of that rig.
Hey, let's take a look. Hey, it's a horse, all right.
Looks like the roan the kid was riding.
Something else there, too, on the ground.
We rode up. There was another horse on the ground. And in the light of the moon, I could see the white star on its black face. Ben was sitting on the ground beside him. A few feet away was the body of a man. I rolled it over face up. It was an Indian. There was a bullet hole in his head.
What happened, Ben?
I don't know. This is the way I found him.
What's wrong with Star, Ben?
His leg's broken.
Oh, I must have stepped in a chuck hole.
Yeah. Then the Indian come by and Hunsaker give him a bullet in exchange for his horse.
Huh?
Tracks in the dirt there.
It's a good thing the boy didn't catch up with him.
Yeah, it is. That's a bad break he's got there, boy.
I know.
Ain't nothing you can do for him.
I know.
Well, now, why don't you just ride on back to the ranch of Sam?
Yeah.
I'll stay here for a while and catch up with you later.
You don't have to do that. Lend me your gun.
Oh, now, look, boy, let's ride off, you and me.
No. He's my horse, Dan, and I've got the right to shoot him.
Yeah, Ben, I reckon you have. Here's my gun. Come on, boy.
I'm coming.
Well, me and Sam will walk off a little ways, Ben. Give you a chance to just fall if you want to. Get it off of your chest.
I'm ready to ride with you. I ain't going to cry, Dan.
He didn't cry. He hadn't cried when I picked him up off of the desert, and he didn't cry then. But the tears was inside of him someplace where they couldn't get out. Never showed in his eyes, though. Something else showed there instead. It was hate. A hate like a pure white flame. I could see it burning there when we got back to the ranch that night.
What'd you say his name was, Dan?
Who's that? Whose name?
The man who took Star.
Hannigan, I think. Yeah, Jim Hannigan.
That isn't what you said before, Dan. I want to know.
Hunsaker. Kirby Hunsaker.
You better go in and get some sleep, boy.
Ben, you can have your pick of anything in the corral.
I don't want another horse.
Well, when you see something that you do want, you just holler it's yours. That's a promise.
Anything, Dan?
Anything.
All right, then. I'll take your gun.
My gun?
You promised, Dan.
I promise. Here. It's yours.
Good night, Dan.
Good night, Ben.
Why, in all my days, I never heard of such a lame-brained thing as giving a kid like that a gun.
Now, he'd have got one somewhere sooner or later. And if I know him right, it's best to be soon.
Oh, he's only a boy.
13. He'd get to be a man fast in the next few years.
And we can hope for him to get better sense.
You're just wasting your hopes, Sam. I'm turning mine the other way. I'm hoping that Kirby Hunsaker don't never come back here.
Sometimes after years of scientific research, there comes a discovery that benefits everyone. Xylene is that kind of discovery. Xylene is a super gasoline component with one of the highest anti-knock ratings known to science. And today, Xylene benefits you whenever you use Richfield gasoline. Your car comes alive with new flashing power when you use Richfield gasoline with Xylene. For faster getaway in traffic, for new sustained power, for higher-than-ever anti-knock qualities, Richfield gasoline with Xylene is made to order. Get Richfield high octane at regular price for the average motor. or Richfield Ethyl. Ethyl at its best, for finest results in the highest compression motors. Each Richfield gasoline contains xylene. Each is a leader in its class. Tomorrow, get a tank full of Richfield gasoline with xylene. Test it against the gasoline you're now using. Feel that xylene zip. Stop where you see the Richfield Eagle on the cream and blue pumps for Richfield gasoline with xylene. And now we return you to Escape.
A boy and a gun. They were together night and day. Ben kept it with him in his sleep, not under the pillow, but next to his cheek, and you could see the red marks of the barrel on the side of his face when he'd get up in the morning. The rest of the time it was belted around him. And when he wasn't working, he'd go off alone into the hills for target practice, and the target he used was an Express Company reward poster for Kirby Hunsaker. After the shots were all hitting the target, hitting close and fast, he stopped firing and was off on something else, a draw. I'd catch him at it in the house or in the barn, wherever he thought he was alone. He started to wear his belt different, too, with the gun holster tied low on his right hip and his right hand hung by his side like a claw. And it got more claw-like with the passing years. The rest of him had changed, too. He wasn't a boy no more. He was a man. We heard about Kirby Hunsaker. More and more we heard about him. His name had gotten big since he took a kid's horse. Got to be one of the three names mentioned most when the talk in the saloons turned to gunslingers. Jim Dunn, Boaz Watson, and Kirby Hunsaker. Killers for hire for any dirty job outside of the law. But all jealous of each other, all bound to meet someday and find out who'd be just a flick faster on the draw. And Ben had to be there the night a stray cowpuncher stopped in to rest his horse.
More coffee, stranger?
Thanks. Reckon I will.
Watered your horse. Sure needed it. You must have come a long way.
Yeah, from Goldfield. Been riding lucky, though. I come through Flagstaff just in time to see the fight.
What fight?
You mean you ain't heard about it? You must have been riding faster than I thought. You ought to have seen it. Never was a gunfight like it.
Who was in it?
Two of the best. Big Jim Dunn and Kirby Hunsaker.
Ben grabbed the edge of the table and his face got as white as borax, like a lead bullet had hit him in the gut.
Which one of them got it?
I prayed for the right answer. The answer that would have been right for me, not the one that Ben wanted.
Oh, Hunsaker beat him. Dunn never cleared his holster.
Color come back into Ben's face, and that pure white flame I hate burned in his eyes again.
Hunsaker got the draw on Big Jim Dunn?
Oh, yeah. I wish I could have stayed in Flagstaff. Boaz Watson someplace in the territory, too. And as soon as he gets wind of it, he'll be on Hunsaker's trail for a showdown.
Well, if Dunn never cleared his holster, then the man ain't born that can outdraw Hunsaker.
Boaz Watson thinks he can. He's been itching for the chance.
It's a chance he ain't going to get.
Ben, where are you going to?
Just thought I'd take a little ride, Dan.
Flagstaff?
Flagstaff, Dan. And don't try to stop me.
Trying to stop him would have been like trying to stop an avalanche, but he couldn't stop me from following neither. He rode day and night, trading mounts on the way, and I was an hour behind him when he reached Flagstaff on the third morning of his ride and started his hunt. He tried the hotel, the express office, and one by one the saloons, asking the questions and seeing faces go blank. He was easy to find when I got to town. He left a trail of questions behind him, and I found him in the last saloon on the street, still asking.
Did you hear what I asked you, bartender?
Yeah, I heard. How should I know?
Does he ever come in here?
Well, I just serve drinks. I don't watch who comes and goes.
I'm tired of walking and I'm tired of talking. I want an answer.
Well, I reckon he comes in sometimes.
When?
Usually about an hour from now.
Good. I'll wait.
Gonna buy me a drink, Ben?
If that's what you came for, Dan.
Been rough trailing you, boy. Men and horses ain't meant to be pushed that hard.
I was in a hurry.
Well, maybe we can take it easier going back. Maybe if we left right now, we could camp out someplace tonight like we used to.
Ask me later, Dan. This is something I gotta do first.
He wouldn't drink, and he wouldn't leave. He just stood there waiting, looking at nothing. He might have been carved out of rock. There wasn't a nerve in him. And then I heard the door swing the way it had a couple of times before, only this time it was different. The talk around the table's cut out. The bartender's hands tightened around the glass he'd been wiping. Every head in the place turned towards the door. It was Kirby Hunsaker. I knew that place. It'd grown heavier and crueler, but I knew it. He stood there in the doorway while them bear-trap eyes of his searched the room, moving first from gun belt to gun belt, flicking an extra beat on the ones that hung low, looking for the hands without gloves. Then his glance come up to face level, like a assayer examining ore. Well, him and Ben hadn't never seen each other before, but somehow they knew each other. Their eyes caught and held, like two longhorns locked together.
I hear somebody's looking for me. In case anybody don't know me, name's Kirby Hunsaker.
I'm looking for you.
Speak your piece.
A long time ago, when I couldn't do anything about it, you stole a horse from me.
You called me a horse thief?
You ran him into a chuck hole and you left him with a broken leg. I had to shoot him.
You got nerve. Name your price. I might pay it.
You'll pay it. My price is the life of the man who stole that horse.
You got a gun. Dig for it.
You move first, Hunsaker.
I'm giving you an edge. Better take it.
No. I want to give you a little time, Hunsaker. If I draw first, then you got to move without thinking. But I want you to think. I want you to think and decide and worry.
You're talking big. A little too big.
I want to give you time, like you gave it to a horse with a broken leg. Because you won't draw fast enough, Hunsaker. Not even if you move first. I'm going down to the livery stable to take a nap. At sundown, I'm coming back up the street, and I don't want anybody on it. You better shoot me in the back while I'm going out that door, because if you don't, I'm going to kill you, Hunsaker.
The flame was in Hunsaker's eyes, too. But it was a man's hate, not pure and white, but diluted with the memory of the way Ben's gun hung, and diluted with just a shadow of fear. Ben went back and slept like he said. I sat beside him for the best part of an hour. Then I shook him, kind of gentle. Sun's hanging pretty low, Ben. Just about time to get up and wash.
Why don't you start for home, Dan? I'll catch up to you later.
Well, I thought that I'd wait up at the hotel.
All right, Dan. See you later.
Yeah, man. I'll see you later. So here I am, in the window of the hotel, and yonder he is in the street, him and Kirby Hunsaker, walking towards each other. And the town is so quiet you can hear their steps on the boardwalk. The fingers of the right hands is clawed like hooks, almost touching the gun butts. Don't even seem like the sun is moving anymore. Like even the shadows is glued there on the ground waiting for one of them hands to move. Because when it comes, it'll come fast.
Better dig, Hunsaker.
You punk.
I'm going to collect for that horse.
Dirty little.
That's your receipt, Hunsaker.
Ben! Ben, are you all right, boy?
I'm all right. Let's walk.
Well, it's all over now, boy. Let's saddle up and go on home.
Hey, wait.
It's the blacksmith. Guess the horses are ready.
Express rider came in just after you left before.
Boaz Watson is riding in. He met him on the trail. You gonna stay and meet him?
Me? I got no quarrel with Boaz Watson.
Well, looks like you will have. He was mighty keen on meeting up with Hunsaker. Looks like you've taken over Hunsaker's place.
You'd better go on alone, Dan.
What do you mean, Ben?
I killed Hunsaker. Now every gunslinger looking for a reputation will try to get it by killing me. From now on, I gotta fight or run.
Well, I'll stay with you. I've been holed up in one place too long anyhow.
No, Dan. This is where we gotta split. Right now. Thanks for everything. I'll never forget you. Goodbye, Dan.
Goodbye, Ben. Goodbye, boy. Goodbye, son. Yeah, he's a gunfighter now. A gunslinging madman will see to that. But he won't never be an outlaw like Kirby Hunsaker or Boaz Watson or Jim Dunn. He kill if they force him to it. But ain't nobody never gonna buy his gun for killing. 'Cause he's got to own something. The desert took his family. I couldn't make up for him. Kirby Hunsaker took his horse, and he'll never really own another one. But there's one thing he's got in this world. That gun. That gun is his. He owns it.
No one wants to have car trouble, especially on a vacation trip. But sometimes we forget that faulty or neglected lubrication can cause wear and breakdown in any car. To keep trouble away, see the Richfield gasoline dealer tomorrow. Get all-point protection against summer wear and breakdown with Richfield All-Point Safety Service. This service gives your car the extra protection of new Rich Lube lithium lubricant, the premium lubricant that's better always. And Richfield All-Point Safety Service also includes all-point lubrication of your chassis, transmission, differential, and wheel bearings. And to protect your motor in hot summer driving, the Richfield dealer puts in fresh, clean, Rich Lube all-weather motor oil. The Pennsylvania premium grade oil that cleans as it lubricates. But that's not all. As a final precaution, the Richfield dealer makes a safety check of your battery, tires, spark plugs, and radiator. So tomorrow, stop where you see the Richfield Eagle and the cream and blue pumps. Protect your car with Richfield All-Point Safety Service. Escape is produced and directed by William N. Robeson. And tonight has presented Sundown by Joel Murcott. Featured in the cast were Barton Yarbrough as Dan, Sam Edwards as Ben, Will Gear as Sam, Ted Osborne as Hunsaker, John Ramsey Hill as young Ben, and also heard were Paul Freese and John Daner. Special music arranged and played by Ivan Ditmars. Next week.
You are trapped on a dwindling sandbar amid the rushing waters of a South American jungle river. Night is coming, and with it hordes of Amazonian vampire bats. The river surrounding you teems with ferocious piranha, the cannibal fish, from whom there is no escape.
Next week at this time, the Richfield Oil Corporation of New York invites you to escape to the jungles of South America with a seething tale of terror and violence, as James Poe tells it in Bloodbath, starring Vincent Price. Goodbye, then, until this same time next week, when once again we offer you Escape. Tom Hanlon speaking. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Sweet checks, rice checks, and good hot Ralston presents Space Patrol! High adventure in the wild, vast reaches of space. Missions of daring in the name of interplanetary justice. Travel into the future with Buzz Torrey, Commander-in-Chief of the Space Patrol! In today's transcribed adventure, Buzz and Happy are in the mountains of Venus, approaching a cabin where three criminals are hiding. They're walking toward a metal bridge across a deep chasm.
I wonder if they've seen us, Commander.
They may have. This way they won't have as much warning as if we'd landed our ship near the cabin. All right, quickly, across the bridge.
Oh, it's a deep going. At least 300 feet. Commander, the bridge is giving way.
Run for the other side.
My feet are slipping. I'm going to fall.
We'll be back in just a moment with today's Space Patrol story, The Scavenger of Space. Hi, gang. Captain Dick Tufeld reporting.
And Captain Jack Nars reporting.
We're going to tell you all about those wonderful new Space Patrol space binoculars.
We're going to tell you how to get them,
how to use them,
what they look like,
what they do,
the fun you can have with them,
the thrills you can have with them.
Space Patrol space binoculars.
Gang, you can see way, way off in the distance with them.
People, houses, and stars blocks and blocks away look nearer, bigger, clearer.
You'll wear them on your head just like outer space headgear.
They stick out from your eyes a full 3.5 inches.
Makes you look like a strange person from another planet.
Wear them when you're watching sports.
And when you play Space Patrol.
Spot airplanes in the sky.
Spot your dad coming home from work while he's still way, way down the block.
Have fun with them no matter where you go.
One end magnifies. Makes faraway objects look close.
The other end does a switcheroo. Makes close objects look far away.
Not flimsy celluloid goggles or a mask,
but real, solid plastic binoculars with a beautiful leather-like trimming.
Giant size, too. 5 inches wide, 5 inches long.
The greatest value ever offered on Space Patrol. But we can only offer it for a limited time.
Now, to get a pair, do this. Buy a box of Instant Ralston. Then, with your name and address, send 25 cents in coin and an Instant Ralston box top to Space Patrol. Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri.
This offer good only in the USA and may be withdrawn at any time.
That's Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. In Lowell City, on the planet Mars, is the head office of Carlyle McCrae, president of a very profitable interplanetary business, the business of reclaiming and repossessing metals and chemicals. At this moment, he's sitting at his desk, looking over reports from his branch superintendents on the various planets. The door of his office opens, and a young man enters. Immediately, Carlyle McCrae's frown turns to a deep scowl.
Larry, what are you doing here? Ah, my big business brother Carlyle. How's the old junk man? Don't use that expression to me. Why, Carlyle. Everybody calls you the junk man. That is, except those who call you the Scavenger of Space. It's a term of respect to your great business abilities. Get out of the office. Ah, take it easy. I'll show you something. Have a look at this. That's just a list of your debts. Oh, that's unkind. No, brother, it's an itemized catalog of intended purchases. Materials which the United Planets government will be buying from private firms during the coming year. Huh?
Classified information. You stole it.
Of course. If you don't want it, I'll take it back. Wait a minute. You deliberately took these secret papers out of the file. Now you will be in it, Jim. Oh, no, I won't. Fool, you're an employee. When they find out it's missing, you'll be the first one they'll suspect. And then I'll be ruined. Brother of a sweet Carlyle. Why don't you shut up for a change and just listen? In the first place, I didn't take them out of the file. And no one will suspect me because I went on leave of absence from the commission office 3 days before the papers were taken. Then how did you get them? I'm trying to tell you. The head of my department's an incompetent character named Donald Hall. Yes? He can't keep up with his work during office hours, and he doesn't want the higher-ups to find out. So he's been taking some of his work home every night.
You hijacked him one night and took the paper.
Oh, you catch on quick.
Does he know you did it?
No. If this ever gets out that my brother's a crook, I'll never get another government contract. It can't get out. Hall himself won't let it.
How do you mean?
That's the thief. It's against security regulations to take secret documents out of the building. Now, Donald Hall isn't going to admit he violated regulations, so he'll cover up the theft somehow to protect himself. No, Larry, perhaps I've misjudged you. Thanks, Larry. Now, if you think this information can be of use to you... Of use? Oh, why, we can clean up. Now, I suppose you'll be needing a little money. Sit down and let's work out the deal. Donald Hall's office is over there, Happy.
Oh, I see it, Commander. United Planet Purchasing Commission.
Mr. Hall seemed very upset about something, but he wouldn't tell me what it was over the phone. Mr. Hall?
Commander Toy, something awful has happened.
Oh, can I speak to you? It's all right. This is Cadet Happy.
How do you do, Mr. Hall?
Fine. Commander, I want to show you something. Will you come this way, please? All right. Come on, Happy. The filing cabinet. This morning I opened this one to get some documents and found this.
It's sort of a spooky coat.
Exactly. What is it? This drawer is supposed to contain classified information. Somebody has apparently poured acid in here and converted all those papers to this soggy, indistinguishable mess.
Who has access to this file?
Why, all of the employees in my section. 18 to be exact, including myself.
Why would anyone do a thing like this?
It's obviously sabotage. A deliberate destruction of these documents.
Perhaps. We'll find out which with a brainograph.
Brainograph?
Yes, I'll put all of your employees through a brainograph test. If they know anything about this, it'll show up. Are they available for a test?
Why, yes. Except one. He's away on a leave of absence. He's been gone for several days.
We'll test him anyway. If he's innocent, he hasn't anything to worry about. Who is he?
Larry McRae. I believe he went to Mars. Lowell City, to be exact.
We'll look him up. All right, now if you'll show me an index of those destroyed documents and a list of your employees.
All right, Larry. Here's an advance on the money we agreed on. Thanks, Carlisle. Now listen, don't spend it. Don't do anything to arouse suspicion. When your leave is over, go back to Terran, your job with the Purchasing Commission. Understand?
Sure.
Look, I'll pick up a couple of things in the next room. Be right back. Now, don't worry about a thing. McRae, go ahead.
Mr. McRae, you don't know me, and please don't ask any questions. I have some vital information concerning your brother, Larry.
My brother?
Yes, sir.
Let's have it.
He's to be questioned about some documents which were destroyed in the office where he worked on Terra.
Documents? What documents?
Please, no questions. Just listen. I happen to know that the Space Patrol is putting all employees of the purchasing section to a brainograph test.
Why do you think my brother would be concerned? Just who is it?
Naturally, Mr. McRae, I don't suspect your brother of any wrongdoing. This is just a friendly tip. For all I know, he may welcome a brainograph test.
I have no doubt that he will.
Well, in that case, he can get a free trip back to Terra. Commander Corey is coming to get him. Right away. Goodbye, Mr. McRae.
Who is that? I don't know. But you're in a jam. Corey's coming here to give you a brainograph test. Huh? I can't face that. The whole thing had come out. I've got a place on Venus where you'll be safe. You can take one of my ships.
I'll blast off right away.
Wait, you'll need some more money. It's in a safe at the chemical lab near the spaceport. I'll give you the address and the combination of the safe.
Take the diagonal ramp at the next corner, Happy. It's the surface car cutoff lane to Sector C of Lowell City.
Right, Commander. And Carlisle McRae's company's on Avenue R?
That's correct.
Well, if Larry McRae is involved in this sabotage, he wouldn't have gone right to his brother's place of business.
Well, maybe not. At least he hasn't made it difficult for our Martian agents to locate him. But Larry may have some subconscious knowledge of subversive activity in the purchasing section. The brainograph will reveal it.
Well, we certainly didn't get anything from the other employees.
Space Patrol Unit Headquarters, Lowell City, Mars, calling Commander Corey and Surface Car 294.
This is Commander Corey. Go ahead.
Agent L47 has just reported that Larry McRae has left his brother's office and is headed down Lowell Freeway toward the spaceport.
Do you have McRae's vehicle number?
Yes, Commander. LP145H92. I've just been handed a new report. McRae's surface car has taken lane 7 on the Civic Center Cloverleaf.
That would take him west of the spaceport. Dispatcher, inform Agent L47 that I'll follow through personally on McRae. Relieve all other agents on McRae case until further notice. Corey out. Turn out the ramp to the next cutoff, Happy. It'll take us into lane 7 south of the Cloverleaf. I've sighted Larry McRae's surface car, Hap, through the space binoculars. It's the blue one, a quarter of a mile ahead of us.
Oh, yeah, the one turning off the main lane?
Yes. It leads to an industrial plant of some kind, a very small one. Our friend Larry McCrae could be running an errand for his brother. Okay, Happy. Follow him into the plant yard. Well, let's go, Happy. I just went inside the building.
Yes, sir. Well, this plant doesn't seem to be in operation, Commander.
One of Carlisle McCrae's properties, all right. McCrae Synthetics, the sign says.
I thought he was chiefly in the junk business.
Only in a very general sense. He's not in this room. He's gone through toward the rear of the building.
What do you want?
Are you Larry McCrae?
Yes?
I'm Commander Torrey.
What do you want with me?
Mr. McCrae, a file drawer full of documents has been destroyed at the Purchasing Commission offices back on Terra.
I don't know anything about it, Commander.
Your department head, Mr. Hall, told us you'd left Terra before the sabotage occurred, but we'd like to give you a brainograph test.
What for?
If you don't think I had anything to do with it. All the other employees have taken the test. There's a possibility that subconsciously you might have a slight clue that would point to the guilty party.
What if I refuse to take the test?
If you're innocent, why should you refuse? But in a case of this kind, I'm afraid you don't have any choice, okay?
Oh, yes, I do.
Commander, he's got a razor. I'll take that gun, McCrae.
You need some help, Commander?
No, thanks, Happy.
What a spot, Commander.
I'd say Larry McCrae had a lot more to do with those destroyed documents than Hall thought.
I remember what you said in Hall's office about the sabotage being used to cover up a theft. Looks like you sure were on the right vector with that one, sir.
Keep an eye on him, Happy. I'm going to phone Space Patrol headquarters here in the city and arrange for them to take Larry back to Terra right away.
I'll watch him, sir.
Sure.
You'll be okay, Larry. You can get up if you want to, but don't try anything.
Now, look, get this straight. I didn't destroy any documents.
Yeah? Then you were a chump for pulling that gun on the commander. You sure look guilty now.
I'm being framed. Donald Hall is trying to put the blame on me to cover up for his own mistake. That's it.
What does that mean? Who else is in this building?
Nobody.
Sounded like a door. Who's there?
All right, Les. Go out the other door.
Who are you?
Where's the mask? It would be inconvenient if I were recognized. I know my brother sent you. Yes. Carlisle got a tip that the Space Patrol was on its way here. Get ready to run when I break this bottle.
What is it?
A very powerful gas. A few whips of this and the cadet will be taken care of for good.
Hurry up, it's coming too.
Stand back. Come on, Larry. Let's go.
Commander, Commander.
We'll be back with Space Patrol in just a moment.
Here's a secret Buzz Corey wants you to know about. The secret of how Space Patrollers get a rip-roaring start in the morning. Here's what they do. They eat a breakfast that supercharges them. A power breakfast with one of the three checkerboard super cereals, Rice Chex, Sweet Chex, and Instant Ralston. Chex. They're the super cereals with that modern bite-sized design. The cereals with a swell new taste that you'll like right off the reel. Now, to warm up your motor, there's Instant Ralston, the hot super cereal. Has a heart of wheat flavor you'll really go for. So now you know how Space Patrollers get that rip-roaring morning start. Gang, get a flying start yourself every morning. Sit down to a nourishing breakfast with a checkerboard super cereal and get supercharged. Rice Chex, Sweet Chex, and good hot Ralston. They're the super cereals that help to supercharge you. Larry McCrae, an employee of the United Planets Purchasing Commission,
has waylaid his office manager and stolen some secret documents. The minor executive, Donald Hall, has not reported the theft, but has told Commander Corey an entire drawer full of documents has been destroyed by acid. When Buzz Corey and Cadet Happy stopped Larry McCrae for routine questioning, he resisted arrest and was knocked out by the commander. But while Happy was guarding Larry, a mysterious masked man attacked the cadet, and after bursting a bottle of poisonous chemicals, helped Larry McCrae escape. Right now, Happy is lying on the floor, nearly overcome by the deadly fumes.
Commander.
Okay, Happy, bring McCrae out. Happy!
Commander.
Don't try to talk now. Wait till we hit the fresh air.
Take a few deep breaths before you try to talk. Now, what happened in there? How did Larry get away?
He shocked me. I think he was wearing a mask. And that gas started burning my lungs.
Somebody must have been tipped off that we were after Larry McCrae.
I think I can stand up now.
Good. We'll broadcast an alarm to Larry. Then we'll have a talk with his brother, Carl. I don't know who you are, but thanks for the help.
Just keep driving, and don't look around toward the back seat. I'm keeping my head down so no one will see this map.
Hey, did my brother give you any new instructions about what I'm supposed to do?
What did he tell you before?
To take one of his spaceships to a place on Venus, the Zarkran Mountains. You know, the hunting lodge near Lake Nazareth.
Oh, yes. You go ahead and do that, just as your brother said.
Oh, fine. Sure lucky you rescued me from Corey. The brainograph test would show right off that I slugged Hall in his apartment and stole the documents.
You? Slugged Donald Hall?
Didn't Carlisle tell you that part? Hey, maybe I'm speaking out of turn. I thought you knew.
Yes, I know. I know the whole thing. Larry dug down the side street and into an alley. I'm getting out.
I get it. You don't want anybody to see you when you remove that mask.
Sure. Can't take any chances.
You. I want you to return a favor I just did you and your brother.
What do you mean?
I just rescued Larry McCrae from Commander Corey and the Cadet.
You aren't referring to a phone call tip-off by any chance?
Something else, too. Larry was under arrest when I interfered.
And what favor do you want?
The documents Larry stole from a certain Donald Hall.
Are you crazy? Why, those are worth a fortune to me.
They're worth more to me. My good reputation.
I don't get it.
Yes.
Who are you?
I am Donald Hall.
What? Then this yarn you told the Space Patrol about a lot of documents being destroyed.
Yes, it was just merely to cover up the loss of papers your brother took from me. I had no idea he was the guilty party until a few minutes ago.
Now, Hall, I'm sure we can work out a deal together.
Give me those documents.
You wouldn't use that gun, huh?
I didn't hesitate to get rid of a Space Patrol cadet. Why would I hesitate to eliminate a character like you? Now get the papers.
All right, Hall. They're locked in this cabin.
No tricky stuff, you know.
Don't worry.
Hurry. I haven't much time.
They're right in here. By the way, my brother must have been surprised when you appeared to rescue him.
He didn't know who it was. I wore a mask.
A mask?
Yes, this one.
Not taking any chances, are you?
The papers, if you please.
Sure. Here they are.
Thanks. These are the ones, all right. Are you with a little strip? I warn you. Try to act possibly, will you? Now I'm going to win it and really take care of
Who's there?
Space Patrol.
Oh, come in.
McCrae.
Commander Corey, this is Cadet Happy.
Yes, Commander.
Oh, look at his head.
What happened?
Nothing. Just a fall, but very clumsy.
Seems to be a lot of clumsiness lately. You didn't get that many bruises from one fall. Who did it?
As I tell you, I fell. I get dizzy spells.
All right, have it your way. We came here to find out where your brother was headed after he left that chemical plant of yours near the spaceport.
Brother? I haven't the slightest idea.
Did he come back here?
I told you, I don't know.
Commander, look at this. I found it on the floor.
Oh, no. Do you wear this at work, Carlisle?
It's a dust rag.
A dust rag with eye holes. Hand it here, Happy.
Yes, odor, very powerful and pleasant. Smell the mask.
Ooh, that's the same smell as that chemical back there where I got slugged.
Exactly. Carlisle, either you rescued your brother, or the man who did came here afterward and dropped that mask. Probably in a fight with you.
I don't know anything about the mask.
All right, Carlisle. You don't want to press charges against the man who attacked you. That's your affair. Come on, Happy.
Yes, sir.
Sorry to have bothered you, Mr. McRae. Goodbye, Corey.
There must no sense in anything to arrest him.
I could, on suspicion. Did you notice that open file cabinet with the papers disarranged?
Yes, sir.
Whoever dropped that mask should have come to Carlisle's office for some papers. Probably the papers Larry stole.
And by the looks of Carlisle, the other guy got him.
I think I know who that other guy might be.
Huh? Who?
While I was talking to Lowell City Space Patrol, I learned that Donald Hall is here on Mars.
Oh?
Yes, it seems he came to consult a certain doctor.
Well, what's our next move, sir?
Well, for one thing, we'll just keep an eye on Carlisle and Stray. If he makes a move, we'll follow him. Any reports since I've been out of the office, Happy?
Not on Carlisle McRae, sir. He's still at his office, according to the last report from our agent 5 minutes ago.
Space Patrol calling Commander Corey.
Corey here, go ahead.
Carlisle McRae is preparing to leave Mars, Commander. Our agent at the spaceport reports that McRae's private cruiser is being given a pre-flight check by his chief engineer.
We'll blast off ahead of him and pick him up after he leaves Mars. Corey out. Let's get to our ship, Happy.
I picked him up, sir.
Let him get on his vector. Then we'll trail him. He's setting his ship down about a mile from Lake Nazareth.
Carlisle sure picked a good hideout for his brother. If we hadn't trailed him here, we never could have found him.
There are 2 other ships down there, near what looks like a mountain lodge.
2 ships?
Yes. There's a deep gorge near the lodge with a bridge across it. We'll set our ship down the other side of that hill and sneak up on them across the bridge. Just a minute, Carlisle. Come in. I recognize the ship. Hey, what's wrong?
Hunter, what's that other ship doing out there?
Oh, that. I've got a guess. Donald Hall.
Thought so. Came to my office, got the documents, and knocked me out. Where is he?
Tied up in the back room. He came here to be sure I'd never be able to expose him in a brainograph test. But I managed to get the first blow.
You've got to get rid of Hall. He's as dangerous to us as you are to him. I suggest... Larry, look out the window.
Huh? 2 space patrolmen. That's Corey and the cadet.
They're smarter than I gave him credit for.
What are we going to do?
Now, don't get panicky. They're still on the other side of the gorge.
The bridge control. Drop the bridge so they can't get across.
Now, let me handle it. Wait just a few seconds more.
I wonder if they've seen us, Commander.
They may have. But this way, they won't have as much warning as if we'd landed the ship near the lodge. All right, quickly, across the bridge.
It's still a deep gorge. At least 300 feet. Commander, the bridge is giving way.
Run for the other side.
My feet are slipping. I'm going to fall.
I've got you, Happy. Grab the railing. Hang on tight.
Oh, I'm sure I'd lose my grip. You're lucky you grabbed me.
Both for both of us.
The bridge is hanging straight down.
Climb up the railing, hand over hand. Use the braces as a ladder.
All right, sir. We're about 10 feet from the top.
Well, that takes care of them. Yeah. They'll never survive that 300-foot drop to the bottom of the gorge.
Neither will Donald Hall.
Oh, is that what you're going to do with him?
Yes. There isn't time for anything more fancy.
Let's get him. Okay.
I'll have to get you a new hiding place.
Ah, the McCrae brothers. Corey! That's right. You're both under arrest. We'll see about that. Let me take care of Larry. Get her try this for size, Larry. And now, Carl, let's see how tough you really are.
That's enough, Corey. I've had enough.
Okay. You got Donald Hall here?
Yes. Yes, he's in the back room. He's here.
I'll do it, sir.
He's here all right, sir. All tied up. Commander, you've got to listen to me. I didn't steal any documents. Honest, I merely took them home to catch up.
You could have kept yourself out of the worst, Jan, by telling me that at first. Now there are quite a few counts against you, including freeing of an official prisoner and an attack on a cadet of the Space Patrol.
Hey, Commander, as a cadet, I can say that this is probably the only time I ever heard of anybody getting into trouble by doing too much homework. Ah!
An exciting preview of next week's thrilling Space Patrol adventure in just a moment. But first, gang, this is Captain Dick Tufeld
And Captain Jack Nars.
and we're going to tell you once again how to get a pair of those wonderful new Space Patrol space binoculars that you can see way off in the distance with.
A pair of space binoculars exactly like Commander Corey uses.
Now, you don't hold them in your hand. You wear them on your head like outer space headgear.
You'll look like a boy or girl from Mars because space binoculars stand out from your eyes a full 3 1/2 inches.
Yes, sir, space binoculars are not just little goggles made out of flimsy celluloid.
And they're not just a little mask made out of cardboard.
Space binoculars are big, full-size, 4-power binoculars. 5 inches wide, 5 inches long, made out of solid black plastic with a bright red leather-like trimming.
Remember, they make objects blocks and blocks away look clearer and closer. 4 times closer.
You can watch airplanes in the sky,
Study birds in the trees.
watch squirrels at close range,
Spot your dad coming home from work.
and do hundreds and hundreds of other things with them all year long.
Absolutely the greatest value ever offered on Space Patrol. But we can only offer it for a limited time.
Now, here's how to get a pair.
Buy a box of Instant Ralston. Then, with your name and address, send 25 cents in coin and an Instant Ralston box top to Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri.
Gang, if you don't think your binoculars are tops, return them and we'll return your money.
That's Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri.
And now, a preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure. Two criminals are holding Tonga in the subcellar of a Venus skyscraper. As Buzz and Happy advance toward the men, they pass a large ventilating tunnel covered with a metal screen. One of the men throws a stick, and behind the screen, the blades of a giant fan start to whirl.
Hey, turn the ventilator fan on. Rush them, Happy. I can't stay on my feet. Keep away from the grating. Move. The air blast pulled me against the grating.
Got me too. Try to pull loose, Happy.
The wind's too strong. Commander, the grating is sliding out.
Pull, Happy. Pull hard. If we don't get out of this tunnel, we'll be pulled into the fan. Be sure to be with us next Saturday for the exciting story, The Top Secret D-Ray, when Wheat Check, Rice Check, and Good Hot Ralston again present Space Patrol! Space Patrol, an original Mike Moser production starring Ed Kemmer as Commander Corey and Lynn Osborne as Cadet Happy, was written by Lou Houston and directed by Larry Robertson. Other players were Ken Mayer, Norman Jolly, and Bela Kovac. Dick Tufeld speaking. Now, don't forget to tune in next Saturday and every Saturday when Wheat Check, Rice Check, and Good Hot Ralston again present the new exciting Space Patrol! And be sure to see another exciting Space Patrol program on your local ABC TV station. Consult your newspaper for time and channel. Space Patrol comes to you transcribed from Hollywood. This is ABC Radio Network.